From San Marcos, Texas, it's a Group of 5 showcase to kick off a brand new season as the Eastern Michigan Eagles out of the MAC pay a visit to the Texas State Bobcats repping the Sun Belt. The fans are fired up, and so is the Texas Heat, with game time temperatures reaching triple digits. So try and stay cool and enjoy a night of college football with us on ESPN+. Good evening and welcome to UFCU Stadium alongside Keith Moreland. I'm Braden Freeman. It is a long 12-game regular season journey, but there's no game quite like the opener ready for tonight.
Yeah, you look at the opener of two teams out of the G5 group, both of them with a lot of people in and out of this program. Both of them have great cultures. Both of them expect to come out and win a ball game tonight.
Taking the magnifying glass to these two teams a little bit more, let's start with Eastern Michigan. The Eagles coming off of a 5-win campaign, losing their final 5 games of the regular season, failing to qualify for a bowl for the first time since 2020. Meanwhile, for the Bobcats, they won a bowl game for a second straight year behind another stellar offensive season. A top 10 scoring offense country a year ago, putting up more than 36 points per game. Now, Keith, with that, let's take a look at the keys for the opener tonight between the Eagles and Bobcats.
Well, first of all, you look at the Eagles, they come on the road, they've got to be balanced. They've got to be able to run the ball and pass the ball. Can't become one-dimensional. And the other thing, when you play on the road in the opener, you got to protect the football. On the other side, you look at the Bobcats, they want first down success where they can run fast and go fast. And that's going to be very important to them to get that offense up and rolling. On the defensive side for Texas State, they've got to have, they led the nation at some point last year with tackles for losses.
And you see Eastern Michigan head coach Chris Creighton out his 12th year EMU, and he's all about culture within his program. Has done a phenomenal job at Ypsilanti. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, head coach G.J. Kinney. How about his 2 seasons here in St. Marcos?
Well, he's just been outstanding. He has 3 different quarterbacks. He's got a young guy again playing quarterback. They create things offensively. He's very innovative. And again, both of these programs build culture, build winning ideas, but they got a lot of new personnel coming in for both sides.
We saw the numbers. Texas State, 69 newcomers this year. The Eagles have 50. And welcome to the transfer portal era in college football.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Brandon. Because of that, you're not sure what you're going to get. Now, I think as the season goes on, you'll get there, but some guys came in the spring, some guys came in June, some guys came at the start of camp. So you don't really have that continuity that you're going to have later in the season.
Texas State looking to win a season opener for a 3rd straight year. They have never lost an opener under head coach G.J. Kinney, including that memorable win to start his tenure at Baylor back in 2023. And for the Eagles, they're looking to win an opener for a 5th straight season. Last time they got beat to kick things off, you have to go all the way back to the COVID year of 2020 in a conference game against Kent State. Texas State will get the football to start tonight. Lining things up on the tee to get our season underway is Nathan Diverts for the Eagles. Jalen Jenkins, Lincoln Perry back deep to return the opening kickoff of the year. A little action, a little fun belts, and a great way to kick off a new season of college football. And off we go from UFCU Stadium. And with that, we'll take a look at Texas State's offense at the 25, and getting the opening day start is redshirt freshman quarterback Brad Jackson.
Well, Brad Jackson has got some opportunities. Yes, he's a redshirt freshman. He got some few snaps last year, but he's won the job here in camp. And he's won the job by being electric, going to the right spots, doing the little things. He is a guy that can really spin it. Just looking at his career numbers when you come into this, pretty impressive in high school.
Spent 3 years in high school in Houston and then finished out his prep career at San Antonio, Reagan. Joined Texas State's program early during the bowl practices of the 2023 year, and now getting the opening day start tonight. And the first play from scrimmage is a run for Perry. Coming off his big bowl game this past year, the big run is start tonight. Across the 30, and it's good for a gain of 7.
Well, one of the things that Lincoln Perry brings to the table, a veteran running back, that's the start. Second part of it is he is so patient. They'll take the first down run off the board. It'll be 1st and 5.
Illegal substitution there against Eastern Michigan.
Well, it could be 2nd and 3 or 1st and 5, and they're having that discussion right now. If they decline it, it'll be 2nd and 3.
And it is declined, setting up 2nd down for Texas State.
How about the other things that Lincoln Perry's overcome in his career? The injuries. Well, we finally are going to make a decision here, Brent.
Yes.
What we want to do here.
Yeah, G.J. Kinney changing his mind. They have accepted the penalty, making it 1st and 5. And you mentioned Lincoln Perry. In G.J. Kinney's first season, Perry suffered a season-ending knee injury during spring football.
Yep.
Was on the sidelines the entire year, came back a year ago, and had an electric end to this past season.
Really did, and it's good to have that guy back. And he's not the only one we're going to see. There's 3 or 4 backs we will see tonight for the Bobcats.
G.J. Kinney telling us he is really excited about the potential of this year's running back room. Of course, losing a big part of the backfield a year ago, Ishmael Mahdi. It's Perry on the carry, and Lincoln Perry explodes across midfield, rumbling inside the 40. And there goes Lincoln Perry, big play to put the Bobcats in Eagle territory.
Well, again, he shows you that patience, allows his blocking, and here comes the Bobcats quickly.
Jackson going to the air for the first time, under duress, able to escape. That's going to be a face mask penalty against Eastern Michigan. And they're going to get Sterling Miles on the penalty, and the Bobcats will have 1st down near the red zone.
Just exactly what a G.J. Kinney ball club wants to do. They get that 1st down yardage. They go quickly, they don't allow your substitutions, they hurry you to the line of scrimmage, and they force you off balance defensively. It's just very difficult to line up and play if they have success on 1st down.
And now Texas State sets up at the Eagles 20. A drive that began back at their own 25. They've gotten here quickly. Jackson throwing to the end zone, and that is incomplete. Good coverage down the field. Looking for Kylan Evans, well covered by Tyrell Diener, and Jackson's first pass of the night goes incomplete.
Just didn't get enough air underneath this one. Never turned and looked for the football, hit him right in the back, but he didn't make contact till the ball hit him in the back, so there's no pass interference on the play. Just a little bit underthrown.
Evans, a new part of the offense this season. As there you get a look at the tight end Blake Smith, a second-year transfer out of Oklahoma. You could also expect to see the tight ends more involved in the vertical passing game this year. On 2nd down, Evans, or it is Jackson rather, on the design quarterback run. And he's going to give himself up at the 16 in pursuit. There for Eastern Michigan defensively was Caleb Coley, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Now they had it set up for a quarterback draw inside. Jackson had to bounce it to the outside, and then that's a really good job of that's a good job description. Let me get on the ground. Let me not have contact here. So gets himself down and lives to play another down.
Texas State a year ago, one of the top 3rd down offenses in the nation, top 20 of the country, converting at about 46% last season. Here's Jackson over the middle. And that is a 1st down and more. Bo Sparks and Texas State strikes first.
Just an outstanding design as Evans is on the outside. It's a little bit of a delay, and he drags clear from inside, drag from the outside, comes right back across the middle. Jackson finds him. What an opening drive for the Texas State Bobcats.
In our talk with G.J. Kinney earlier in the week, he really hyped up Bo Sparks and Chris Don Jr., calling those two perhaps the best 2-man wide receiver tandem in all the group of 5. The opening drive for Texas State ends in 6, make it 7 with a point after. Bobcats on top over Eastern Michigan. 7-0 to start a brand new season. Back after this from UFC Stadium, you're watching college football on ESPN+. Jackson opening up the season, engineering a drive, finding Bo Sparks for his third career touchdown catch for Brad Jackson. Career touchdown pass number 2, and what a way for the Bobcats to get things going.
Well, they got an outstanding run from Lincoln there, and then from that point on, they went fast, were able to do a couple of things, got the advantage of a face mask penalty that also moved them down, but a really nice, well-designed route from the outside. It's drag underneath after just taking the linebackers out of play and pitch and catch for the touchdown. And now the Eagles with their opportunity for their first time to come out offensively and see if they can stay balanced and get something going offensively.
Well, I know it's early. We're coming off just the first drive of the year, but perhaps Texas State carrying a trend over from a season ago, that being fast starts. The Bobcats last season outscored their opponents by 99 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, they just, those script plays that come off to start the game have worked perfectly over the last year and a half.
Here's the kick coming from Michael James as Eagles get ready to come out on offense for the first time this season. They'll have a new starting quarterback as well this year. And that kick is fair caught inside the 5. That'll take the Eagles out to the 25-yard line. And the new quarterback this year is Noah Kim, the transfer out of Coastal Carolina.
Well, you just look at him and you see the games played in his career. He's a young man it's his third school. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of different things he can do. He can get vertical with the football. He can really spin it. It's going to be interesting to see here now to come out. He looks up and his team's down 7-0. How can he handle this environment?
Replaces Cole Snyder, who was the quarterback of this offense a year ago. Kim also named a team captain coming into the season and ready to take his first snap as an Eagle. After the Bobcats struck on the early touchdown drive, Kim on the rollout, feeling the heat. Throws out of the sidelines and a misfire, but a flag in the secondary. Might be some contact against Texas State, and we'll check the penalty.
Nice job of buying time right here. This is going to be a hold. It's not pass interference. It's going to be a defensive hold. It's going to get an automatic first down. When a quarterback, as an ex-defensive back, Brant, when a quarterback gets outside the pocket, it is difficult to stay with receivers, and sometimes you feel, oh, he's getting away from me. Just reach up, get a piece of his jersey, and got caught right there doing it.
The try for Texas State, meanwhile, went 75 yards in a minute 41. And able to score just 4 plays. Got that explosive 35-yard run for Perry. And now the Eagles looking to respond. It is a run on first down and a big run up the middle for Dante McMillan, a third-year transfer out of Weber State. Coming off a really tough season-ending injury a year ago. He suffered it in the loss to Washington, and McMillan is from the Pacific Northwest. It was a very emotional game for him. He thought his career was over, able to get the medical red shirt, and returning this year for Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, and really is in great shape and earned the chance to get that start tonight.
Last run good for 13 for McMillan. On first down, Kim surveys, throws low. That catch, though, is made to the shoe tops of Terry Lockett Jr., one of the top returning receiving threats for the Eagles this year.
Yeah, he is a really good receiver, but a nice job by Kim staying in the pocket. He had people all around him in there. That's a good note. You know your quarterback's going to stay and hang in there, able to make something positive on first down.
Eagle fans will notice that Lockett wearing the number 2 this year. A jersey number designated for the top receiver for the Eagles in honor of Demarius Reed, a former receiver of the program that sadly passed away in 2013 as the Eagles rip off another big run. Big point of emphasis for G.J. Kinney coming into the game tonight was for his defense to stop this rushing attack, but McMillan reels off another big run, and the Eagles are in business.
Well, just a really nice job of blocking up front. Watch the kickback, and then he makes a nice move right here and bounces off a couple of tacklers down inside. They're going to mark him out back at the 12, 13-yard line, but a really nice run on all of a sudden, very balanced and right here in scoring position.
Last run good for 35 yards from McMillan. Big missed tackle from Ryan Nolan as well. First down, run up the guts, and to the 10 goes Javier Dunlap, former Michigan Wolverine.
And a local product right here. Del Valley, just up the road about 30 miles here. UFCU Stadium.
So we've seen Dunlap and McMillan. And like G.J. Kinney, Chris Creighton excited about the running back room this year. Believe this is as deep as the unit has been in his tenure at Ypsilanti. On second down, Kim on the RPO dumps it off and inside the 5. And that's going to set up goal to go following the catch from Joshua Long.
One of the tight ends, H-backs, gets out in the flat. Now, the Eagles want to go quickly as they're right back to the line of scrimmage here on first down.
Trying to answer Texas State's 75-yard drive with one of their own. And it is Dunlap, stonewalled around the 1. Brings up second and goal for Eastern Michigan on what will mark the 6th play of the drive.
Got a nice job in the interior of the defensive front that time, just stacking everything up. Wholesale changes for the Bobcats here. Up front, as the goal line defense comes into the game in what should be a very tight formation, and it is.
Second and goal. And it is another run, and spinning is McMillan down to the 2. Got tripped up by Bobby Crosby. And now third and goal coming up for Eastern Michigan.
How about Crosby that time? Really does a great job of bouncing up in there and making a tackle. A lot of times you don't want to see a safety on a running back, but a nice tackle there. All of a sudden it's third down.
Bobcats make a sub on the defensive line. See big Cameron Washington, tip of the scale through the south at 300 pounds, check in for Texas State. Third and goal. Kim, hands off, and
there's an illegal procedure. Somebody jumped.
Yeah, that play never happened. And this might back the Eagles up behind the 5.
False start. Offense. All the linemen except for the center. 5-yard penalty. Replay third down.
All of a sudden you go at the 2-yard line third down. Now you're back to the 7. Changes your play call. Bobcats in man defense right here.
The Eagles were one of the more penalized teams in the MAC a year ago. So some big penalties in this game already. Third and goal. Kim, pressured, flushed out, on the run, throws, and that is incomplete. Fired that off his back foot, looking for a target in the back of the end zone, and that brings up fourth down.
Yeah, had to go across his body, Brent, and what a stop for the Bobcats. And a lot of that is because of the penalty, there's no question. But looks like the Eagles may have to settle for a field goal attempt, but we've had some offense, haven't we, here in this first 7 minutes of the ball game.
But you do credit Dexter McCoyle's defense for bending but not breaking to get a stop in the red zone. Rudy Kessinger, redshirt freshman, making his EMU debut tonight, puts the Eagles on the board. So Texas State opens the night with a touchdown drive. The Eagles answer with a field goal. We step aside from UFCU Stadium. Bobcats on top of Eastern Michigan in a matchup between the Sun Belt and the MAC to open up the 2025 season. Texas State on top of Eastern Michigan 7-3. We should talk more about the Bobcats offensively under the direction of G.J. Kinney over the past 2 years. You see where they ranked in G.J. Kinney's first season, 11th in the nation in scoring, 15th in total offense a year ago within the top 10 of both categories.
Yeah, you just look at it. This is a team that's found a way to put points on the board. They do it in a lot of different styles. They want to go quick. It is, I want to call it a West Coast style, but you know, West Coast style still run the football because they're pretty balanced in that as well. It's not just all through the air.
Now, a common denominator from those numbers we saw was that the offensive coordinator was the same. Mac Leftwich, he left over the offseason to Texas Tech, and G.J. Kinney has since promoted Landon Keppel. And Coach Kinney admitted that losing Mac Leftwich was really tough on him. The two would work together for a long time, but it has been a seamless and great transition to Keppel, now as the OC at Texas State. After the 9-play field goal drive for Eastern Michigan, the kickoff into the end zone, and we will see Brad Jackson come out for his second series of the night.
All right, see what adjustments. This is always the most fun. The opening game of the year, offensively, you went down and scored. Or on the defensive side, what adjustments do the Eagles make? Because each defense now will get an opportunity to go out and see and look at some tape, sit on the sideline, see formations, see what teams are trying to do, see how they adapt to here in this second possession.
It is a new look offense this season, just 3 returning starters back from last year's team. A lot of changes up front and at the skill positions as well. And on first down, Jackson going to hand this off, and there's another big run for the Bobcats with the ball. Almost came through. Greg Burrell was able to hold on to it, tripped up just short of the 40 for a first down.
Nice job, Burrell. Nice little stutter step. Does put it on the carpet, but gets it back.
Sophomore transfer out of UNLV. Now Jackson going to dump it off for Burrell. On the screen, has some downfield blocks. Big play again for Texas State as Greg Burrell navigates inside the Eagles' 45.
Well, it's set up perfectly. Really nice job by Brad Jackson to allow the defense to come to him. Flipped it over the top and into Eagle territory.
The Bobcats are averaging 15 yards of play to start the game. Last one good for 21. Jackson steps up. Going to flip that to Burrell. Some improvisation there from Brad Jackson.
Well, that's a running play because that was a lateral to the outside. He pitched it backwards and it was a live football, so it'll go as a running play and a positive yards on first down.
You probably will see multiple backs in the backfield. Burrell getting this series. Lincoln Perry got the first. Texas State also boasts Torrance Burgess, a returning player, and Jalen Jenkins. On the second down play, Jackson over the middle. Cristo on the catch. Into the red zone and down to the Eagles' 15.
Really nice job of going up. You know when you go across the middle, and especially when you go up, you're going to pay for it. But boy, he goes up, secures the football, comes down in the red zone.
Dawn was one of G.J. Kinney's first signees when he took over as head coach in November of 2022.
We've had a wind shift here. Now out of the north with some rain to the north of us now.
Fifth play of the drive coming up. Off the play fake. Jackson throws to the end zone. Dawn, the target, a little bit beyond his reach. Double covered as well. And that'll bring up second down.
You know, judging a pass as a passer, when you've been throwing into the wind, left to right on your screen, has been into the wind. Now the wind is totally flipped out of the north now, so the wind behind Jackson, and the ball sailed on him just a little.
Bobcats bring Kylan Evans back at a receiver. One of the bigger targets in the whiteout, 6'2". A redshirt freshman out of McKinney, Texas, the third highest recruit in program history. Has seen 1 target so far tonight. That pass caught, and for the second time, Bo Sparks finds the end zone.
Well, it's a really nice route right here. Shielded, used his body. Sparks is not a big guy, Brant, but he does a great job of shielding the defender. Jackson puts it in the perfect spot. Watch him shield The defender from the backside slows down just enough before the safety gets there. Right down the field again go the Bobcats.
This might be the beginning of a beautiful marriage between Brad Jackson and Bo Sparks. 2 drives, they've hooked up for a couple of touchdowns. And for Sparks, matching his season total of touchdowns from a year ago. The point after from Tyler Robles. The Bobcats go 75 yards again. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, both off the arm of Brad Jackson. 6:41 to go in the first quarter. It's all Bobcats early on in the opener against Eastern Michigan here on ESPN+. (14-3). Texas State on top following another touchdown drive engineered by Brad Jackson. It is a brand new season. With that, Keith, you kind of reflect about what you lost from a year ago and you look at the Eagles and the lost production, losing their starting quarterback, Cole Snyder, losing their top rusher, one of their top receivers, and also James DeJoncum defensively. Big holes that Chris Creighton had to fill over the offseason.
Yeah, he did, and it went a lot of different directions to do that, as you talked about the different personnel of both of these clubs, but well, that's a ton of production, especially on the offensive side, Brant, that you got to replace. See if they can get that done. Now, they had a good opening drive. It stalled because of a penalty. See what happens here on drive 2.
Now, the most important part of offseason recruiting when talking to Chris Creighton was finding the right fit into their culture.
Yes,
that blue-collar type culture.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, he talks a whole lot about the fact is we're going to come to work every day. We're going to do our job. Don't try to do more than your job, but you do your job. Come to work every day. And it's finding those right guys when you have in this day and age of NIL and transfer portal, it's trying to find those right guys as much as it is about finding players.
The third longest tenured coach in the history of Eastern Michigan football looks on with his offense taking the field for the second time. Had a field goal drive last time out. First play of the series for Kim. Back to pass and taking a shot down the field for Lockett. What a catch! Terry Lockett hauls it in near the sideline. That puts the Eagles inside of midfield.
Well, that's really good coverage. Great back shoulder throw. And again, this breeze has turned, so he's throwing into the breeze. But how about Lockett seeing it, coming back, gathering in for a big play on first down?
Kim able to show off his arm, something he wasn't able to do a lot of at Coastal Carolina. Was not a good fit of the Chanticleer's option-based offense. His reason for wanting to transfer out of Conway, South Carolina, as McMillan bangs his way inside the 40 for 9 more yards. McMillan already over 50 yards rushing in the first quarter.
Well, you saw what he wants to do. Did you see him finish right there, Brent? Now that's what you call finishing a run. He looked at it. There was no juke. He just put his shoulder down and said, I'm going to deliver the blow here. I'm not going to accept the blow from the defender.
There's an injury stoppage here. A Bobcat defender went down at the back end of that play.
It's interesting. You talk about what you feel like you've accomplished in camp. You know, this started at the end of July, 1st of August. You try to get things together. You try to find that personnel, but you really don't know how things are going to turn out until you get into a real football game with the lights on and another color uniform across from you. What I've seen so far is both of these offenses seem to be very comfortable right now. It's going to be what defense can find a way to start making some plays. That's just my first feel for the first half of this first quarter.
Got some eyes on Kim along with Cameron Edge, the two of them battling for the starting job in fall camp, both newcomers to the program. Kim from Coastal Carolina and Edge from Maryland. The Bobcat that was slow to get up, Jolation Landry, sophomore that made several big plays for this defense a year ago, limps off.
Yeah, he's one of those guys on the end, defensive end, that creates havoc in the backfield.
And when you talk to this Texas State program and about the defense, they'll tell you that the strength is the edge rushing between Khalil Alexander, Tymier Jackson, and Jolation Landry. After a gain of 9, 2nd and 1. 2 plays into the drive with the Eagles already inside the Bobcats 40. Off the play fake, Kim. There's the pressure and a flag down, and down goes Kim.
There was a tackle on the play, but that's not going to matter. They're going to take the sack. That's one where just didn't have time. Nice job of creating some pressure with a blitz. Got pressure up the middle. Here comes the call.
Third down at the dead ball spot.
Yeah, that was a quarter blitz dialed up by defensive coordinator Dexter McCoyle. This is Jaden Rios on the sack.
Timed it perfectly, came off the corner. They had a double move on the outside. If you see a blitz, you go to get out of that. Just didn't see it quick enough.
Rios, a first-year transfer out of East Texas A&M. 3rd down and 19. Pass over the middle on a little screen play and just a few yards. That's about all for Eastern Michigan. So a promising drive goes backwards for the Eagles. They'll punt it back to Texas State.
Yeah, negative plays. We talked about how many that the Bobcats created in 2024. Well, they've started the season with 2 big negative plays here that have stopped drives for the Eagles already.
And you referenced negative plays. The Bobcats have been backfield terrors defensively over the past couple of years. A season ago, 10th in the country in tackles for loss. Mitchell Topasek back to punt it here for Eastern Michigan. This is the first punt of the game. And Sparks is going to let it go wisely into the end zone.
It just kept rolling. He was trying to hit some kind of pooch punt to not keep it out of the end zone, but it makes its way into the end zone. Good field position, out to the 20 here.
There's something else about this Texas State offense, and we've seen it play out in the first quarter, the balance that they have. The Bobcats have racked up 130 yards of offense already, 73 through the air, 57 on the ground. Now, a season ago, offensively, Texas State, one of just 8 teams in the country to finish the year with at least 3,000 yards passing and 2,500 rushing.
Yeah, and they've run 10 plays. They're averaging 13 yards per snap in the ballgame so far.
Lincoln Perry back in the backfield for Texas State. First play of the series, Jackson taking a downfield shot, and that's overshot for Dawn. Incomplete pass will make it 2nd and 10.
Zip route, deep zip. Don came to the inside, broke it back to the outside. Ball sailed just a little bit on Jackson. No pressure, though.
Spoke about it at the broadcast open. Texas State coming off an 8-win season, their 2nd straight. That has not been accomplished for this program in more than 40 years. You have to go all the way back to the Division II days in the early 80s. Things have certainly turned around here in St. Marcus as Perry spins off a tackle. Lincoln Perry rips off another big run across the 35-yard line for a 1st down.
He's got such great balance, and I love the way he covers up the football. He had both hands on it, wasn't going to get it knocked out for the 1st down.
Very up offense for the Bobcats. Off the play fake, Jackson wanted to go underneath and now cuts his losses, and that's something that you don't see a lot for redshirt freshman quarterback.
Cut his losses, absolutely. They took away what he was going to on an RPO. Said, I got nowhere to go with it. Let me get it out of my hands and out of bounds. Live to play another down.
This is that big run from Lincoln Perry. That was good for 17 yards. And now 2nd and 10 for Jackson to the offense. Jackson, well protected, has Dawn on the slants. And Dawn down to the 46, picks up 9. And how about the way this offensive line is playing to start the night?
Oh, they've been outstanding. He has had no pressure, able to step into it. And these guys haven't played a lot of snaps together. This is a rebuilt offensive front, no question, for the Bobcats.
3rd down, 2 to go. It's Perry, and he's got the 1st down. Hard-nosed run to midfield, and the Bobcats are back in Eagles territory where they've been all night.
Yeah, they want to go hurry up right now.
On 1st down, Jackson now feeling some heat and loses the football. One of his linemen able to jump on it. It was Sully Burns that saved the football, and for the first time tonight, Brad Jackson takes a hit.
Well, Burns does the right thing, too. He takes a hit, ball gets slapped away, a negative play, something we haven't seen. But how about Burns? He didn't try to do anything else other than just get on top of it.
Pressure coming from Messiah Blair. Local products for the Eagles from Detroit. After the loss of 9, Jackson steps up and got tripped up back of the line of scrimmage. And because of the negative plays, Texas State now looking at 3rd and 19.
Protect the football here. You don't have many 3rd and 19 plays in your playbook. Just don't turn it over. Punt the football away if you have to.
Conservative play on the run for Burrell. And Burrell able to get some yards back inside of midfield. And with 2.5 to go, Texas State now faced with 4th down.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The offense is staying on the field right now. See what happens. I think they're going to punt it away here.
And we will see the punt unit come on. We'll get our first look tonight at David Nunez, a senior for Texas State. He is the only player on the roster remaining from the last time these two met in 2021, and he was just recently put on scholarship. Surprised with the scholarship during fall camp just a few weeks ago. And gets the punt away. And that will sail into the end zone. And the Eagles will operate from the 20 with under 2 minutes to go in the 1st quarter and trailing 14-3.
Yeah, I think when he was out working before the game, I watched the punters and the kickers all the time. He was punting into the wind this direction. Well, it's not the case right now because it is really howling out of the north, and it is affecting anything left or right on your screen.
Now comes Noah Kim and the Eastern Michigan offense. Again, Kim was at Coastal Carolina last year, 7 games for the Chanticleers. Then prior to that was at Michigan State. Starting quarterback in his first 5 games of the 2023 year before getting injured. transferring to the Sun Belt program out of Conway. Out his first year at Ypsilanti. McMillan. And he's going to be wrapped up for a loss. Good pursuit from Texas State's defense. On the stop there for Texas State. It's Terrence Cooks' second. And that'll bring up second down and long.
He did a nice job of just boxing the corner. Nowhere to go right there. And turned it back to the inside. And negative play again. Tackles for losses.
The first negative run of the night for McMillan. And now second and 13. Third series of the game for Eastern Michigan. Blitz coming. Kim escapes the pocket. On the run, throws, and it is broken up. Incomplete, broken up by Bobby Crosby. And that sets up third and long.
What a great job by Crosby, watching the eyes of the quarterback. Folks, he came 15 yards after the ball was thrown in the air to react to the football and to break it up. Another big third down here.
Crosby coming off a tough year, missed 8 games last season due to injury, but he was able to return to the bowl game in January. Figures to be a huge part of the secondary this year. Eagles looking for the first third down conversion of the game. A long way to go. They need 13. Underneath goes Kim. A broken tackle. McMillan breaks free. And the Eagles convert on third and 13.
Well, what a nice job of buying time. I mean, there are times when you're just in trouble. You're outside the pocket, and Kim was outside the pocket here. He just bought enough time, and then how about the individual effort from McMillan to find a way to get a first down on a ball thrown short of the line to gain.
A timeout taken by G.J. Kenny. And one of the concerns, if you're Coach Kenny right now, is missed tackles on defense.
Well, it's the first game of the year. You do not want to spend a ton of time, Brant, in camp doing a lot of tackling just because of the injury factor. So usually the first game is probably the one game that you will probably say, okay, I know that you're going to miss some tackles. As the game goes on, that'll be something that they will talk about because we've seen a lot from both sides so far.
One of the big challenges for this Eastern Michigan team with talking to Chris Creighton was how would they handle the heat? Again, at kickoff, 100 degrees outside here in St. Marcus, and there have been nearly 1,200 games played in Eagles history. Tonight marks the first ever regular season game in the state of Texas.
Well, yeah, and the first time they probably started one at 100 degrees, too. So
yes.
Both of those things are very good. Now, it is cooler than that right now with this rain approaching and the wind changing. It's not quite 100, but it's still very humid.
Don't see this in MAC country. As Kim is ready for first down for the 40 after the timeout. Off the play fake and fires a dart. Reeled in just short of midfield to Lockett, who's had a busy first quarter.
Terry Lockett Jr. is just a really good player. That's why he wears that number 2. He is a really good offensive receiver. He does a great job of just shielding with his body. Had great coverage that time. Perfect throw for almost the first down. It'll be second and short.
Lockett, third team All-MAC honors a year ago. Finished last season with nearly 700 yards receiving. And already 3 catches for 40 yards here in the opening quarter. And now Eastern Michigan calls for time.
They didn't like something. 2 seconds to go in the half. I mean, the quarter, you would think, just go down and just say stop. But the ball was about to be snapped, so they had to use a timeout.
So the timeout taken by Chris Creighton. One of 20 coaches in MAC history to win 50 or more games at a conference school. And he's taken the Eagles to a bowl 5 times over the last 7 seasons.
Yeah, he's got the great demeanor. I love talking to him this week. You spend time with him. It makes you feel like, hey, we're going to get our lunch pail. We're going to get up. We're going to go to work. We're going to do what we need to do to try to win football games. It's a community and not about an individual sport. And football is a community sport. Everybody's got to be involved in. Boy, his culture is he's really turned the corner. Each and every year, his football teams come out, and it's a tough to beat them.
Out of the timeout, time for one more play in the first quarter. And now Kim changing the play call. And this is a run, and spinning out of a tackle is Dunlap. Takes off inside the 40, still rumbling. Down to the 33, more missed tackles, and the ground game is chewing up yardage for EMU tonight.
Again, a local product for Del Valle just up the road, and he shows you right there what he's made of. He finishes that run, lowers his shoulder, delivers the contact, and let's go to the quarter and what has been a very entertaining first quarter.
At the end of one, Texas State on top of Eastern Michigan 14-3. But the Eagles are on the move as we get ready for the start of the second quarter from UFCU Stadium on ESPN+. Into the story of Eastern Michigan's season from a year ago. The Eagles came out of the gates on fire, won 5 of the first 7 games, but then lost their final 5. And you look at the turnover differential as well. 5 turnovers in the first 7 games of the year, 12 over those final 5 games.
Can't put it on the carpet.
Looking for a rebound year this year, and this is a reverse for Eastern Michigan. Doesn't yield a whole lot. As we see Benson Prosper tripped up right around the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. 6th play of the drive coming up for the Eagles. Solid first quarter numbers for Noah Kim, 6 of 8, 78 yards, but more impressive has been the Eastern Michigan ground game, averaging close to 6 yards per carry. They featured a lot of Dante McMillan and Tavares Dunlap, and this is another big run for the Eagles inside the 20 and down to the 10-yard line. Eastern Michigan rips off another big run. This time it is Joey Mattard.
A really nice job of reading the mesh. This time it was a read, and just nice job seeing it. Was going to pull it out, gave it, split the inside and down inside the 10.
Second time the Eagles have been in the red zone tonight. Goal to go from the 9. Kim surveys, lofts into the end zone. Receiver got turned around, but contacts. The call will come against Jaden Rios as Kim was looking for Terry Lockett, and this will inch Eastern Michigan closer to the goal line.
Well, Lockett tried to reverse to find the football and reached up, just grabbed him. Just right when he turns and was going to look for the footballs when you saw the reach up and he sort of grabbed him. Ball was already in the air. It's going to be first and goal at the 2.
Like Eastern Michigan, Texas State had issues with penalties a year ago, one of the more penalized teams in the Sun Belt. That their second flag of this game. Direct snap, Dunlap, and fighting towards the goal line, and he's in. Tavares Dunlap in his first game as an Eagle into the end zone, and Eastern Michigan has cut into Texas State's lead.
They withstood the first quarter, and really nice job getting a stop and then taking it right down the field and putting it in the end zone. Very balanced between the pass and the run on that drive. 20 plays for 160 yards of offense so far.
Now the point after coming up here for Eastern Michigan. For Dunlap, did not play much in his 4 years in Ann Arbor, just 22 carries in 4 seasons as a Wolverine. Figures to get a lot more opportunities with Eastern Michigan. Already 4 carries in this game. Last one going in for 6. Eastern Michigan with an 8-play, 80-yard drive and into the end zone for the first time tonight. 13 minutes to go until halftime. Bobcats on top by 4. Eastern Michigan coming off a scoring drive 8 plays, 80 yards. This play on 3rd and 13. McMillan keeping the drive alive, and then later that big run up the gut for Mattard, and that set up the touchdown for Dunlap.
Hey, it's just a direct snap. Dunlap finishes off, but that 3rd down conversion, great highlight, guys. That was the whole drive. Looked like they had them stopped 3rd and long, and found a way to get the 1st down and continue the drive. It leads to a touchdown.
Following Eastern Michigan's first touchdown drive of the season, we'll see the kickoff here from Deiberts.
He's got a strong leg with this wind behind him. Doubt that we'll see a return unless he has a miss hit.
That heads towards the brand new South End Zone complex. And Texas State will come out for its 4th series of the game. So far, we've seen a couple of touchdown drives from Brad Jackson.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. I mean, 163 yards on 18 plays. They've controlled the clock for about 7 minutes to this point. They want to, gets their offense going is they want to get you tired and not let you substitute. So they'll stay with their guys. If they have success on 1st down, that allows them to get to hurry up. And they get in hurry-ups usually when they come away with points.
Coach Kenny noting just how explosive the offense was during fall camp, and so far through 1 quarter of play, Texas State averaging more than 9 yards a play. Jackson on 1st down for the tight end Smith, and Blake Smith takes it across the 30. Good for 8 on 1st down.
Yeah, offensive line hustling up, getting right there, and they'll come right back and snap it here.
Smith missed all of last year due to injury. In his 2nd year from Oklahoma, direct snap to Lincoln Perry, and fights for the 1st down.
And it's so subtle, just at the last second, you see Jackson move over and they direct snap it to Perry. 2 plays and a 1st down.
So far, 4 carries in the game for Perry for 59 yards. Again, he ended the season on a tear. 8 rushing touchdowns last season. 5 came in the final 4 games, and of course 2 in his memorable bowl performance in Dallas. It's Perry again this time. No, it's Jackson to the keeper. Brad Jackson can run, and he's got a 1st down inside of midfield before being pushed out of bounds, and Brad Jackson moves the chains.
Well, he shows you his athleticism here. It looks like he, for all intents and purposes, he's going to be tackled right here, but he just finds a way to split that, get to the 2nd level, and the 1st down.
Was able to show off his wheels in limited action last year, including a big game at ULM when he ran for over 100 yards and a couple of touchdowns in a win over the Warhawks. His biggest run of the game puts Texas State inside of the 50, and Jackson takes off again. Jackson slides down to the 40. Making the 41 as Jackson picks up 8.
Oh, nice job recognizing right away the pressure was there, put it down quickly, found a seam, and got 8 positive yards. Here they go again.
Perry this time looking for a lane off the left side, and Perry right to the sticks. He's got another 1st down. 6 play the drive coming up for the Bobcats. So far, 4 of the first 5 have kept the ball on the ground as Perry gets a breather.
Yeah, when you make substitution, the defense gets allowed the opportunity to match, and they do, before they allow the ball to be snapped.
Greg Burrell back into the backfield this time. On 1st down, Jackson looks, pressured, throws that one away.
They were trying a little double move that time. The pressure just got to him. And nice job by Jackson to realize that, hey, I don't have enough time for this double move. I got to get the football out of my hands. Live to play another down. 2nd and 10 now.
Haven't seen a ton of pressure from Eastern Michigan tonight. This is a team that is without its top pass rushers from a year ago, Peyton Price, having to replace his productivity along the defensive line. On 2nd down, draw play for Burrell, and off that left side, going to be stacked up, but taking the pile with him. Able to turn out an honest gain of 6 to make 3rd down manageable.
Lyons, the tight end, Titus Lyons, does a nice job right here. He's the guy out in front. He comes in motion and comes back to the outside and really makes a nice block, and then it finishes and pushes him forward to make it a very manageable third down here. But a big play here in the second quarter.
Bobcats 2 of 3 in third down to start the game. And this unit, they were chain movers last year, 4th in the country in first downs gained a season ago. A lot of those first downs in situations like this, third and medium. Burrell, first down yardage, and then some. Still running. Down inside the 15-yard line. And the pile finally stops at the 13.
What a great jump step. Right at the point of the first down, he just made one really nice lateral jump step. And when he did, it broke him to the next level. Gets him down into the red zone again.
The Bobcats have chewed up 62 yards on the drive so far. 53 have come on the ground.
Yeah. Very balanced.
Perhaps started to wear a bit on that front seven of the Eagles, who had troubles in the second quarter a year ago. In the red zone, Jackson to the end zone, drops just off the hands of the receiver, Dawn. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, back shoulder throw to the outside. A lot of contact going on. Just turned and didn't get his hands quite up where he could secure the football. That was a perfect throw, though, from Jackson. Had it right there. His guy, the only guy that had a shot at it.
Just the second pass of the series for Brad Jackson. Lincoln Perry with the backfield here on 2nd down. As Don runs in motion. Looking his way in the screen, and Don breaks free inside the 10 and down to the 6 to bring up 3rd down.
Well, it's a well-designed play. Put him in motion, bring him from the inside back to the outside. It makes the defense make a move and then set up the screen, and a really nice move to the inside. And with a change, now host will allow the defense to make changes as well. Big, big play here. Difference, 4-point swing right here.
A package of new defenders on the field for Eastern Michigan looking for a stop on 3rd down. They've struggled to get off the field all night. Jackson to the end zone, and that is broken up. Looking for Evans. And a great defensive play made by the secondary, Bryce Llewellyn, the one that broke it up. That sets up 4th down.
Well, he did make an outstanding play in press coverage on the outside. It's going to lead to a field goal attempt. But a really nice play. Bend and don't break. The defense found a way to get a stop and force a field goal attempt.
Llewellyn, solid defender. In his 2nd year with this Eagle program from Charleston Southern. Bobcats kicking in, having to replace the great Mason Shipley. Transferred to Texas over the offseason. It is Robles, and for the field goal. And connects to put the Bobcats on top 17-10, ending an 11-play drive. Going 68 yards, the Bobcats strike again. It's 17-10. Texas State over Eastern Michigan. A look at UFCU Stadium on this hot Saturday night. The final Saturday of August, with the first Saturday of the new season. Great crowd on hand to catch Texas State against Eastern Michigan, the second ever meeting between these two programs. The Eagles won in Ypsilanti 4 years ago. The Bobcats looking to return the favor here tonight as we embark on a new season. And for the Bobcats, won't be home again until September 20th against a really good Nichols team that won against the ranked Incarnate Word team last week, and they're playing Troy really well right now on the road.
Yeah, they've got the lead on in the third quarter against Troy.
The next two games for the Bobcats on the road against longtime rival UTSA, and the week after that going to Tempe to take on Arizona State. Michael James with the kickoff. And it will be returned on the run. And the return for the Eagles will be stopped right around the 25-yard line. And that was Joey Mattert on the return there for the Eagles. Last time we saw this Eastern Michigan offense take the field, really got the ground game going, and also got a key third and long conversion as part of the drive.
The third and long was they had 3rd and 16 and found a way to make a play. A missed tackle was very much involved in that. And offensively, they've got their feet under them now. See if they can come out. 20 plays, 160 yards. They've controlled the clock for 9 minutes and 31 seconds to this point.
That offensive line for the Eagles has been opening up a lot of holes. They protected Noah Kim really well. It's a unit that's very athletic, anchored by veteran center Mickey Revelinski, one of the team captains for Eastern Michigan this season. And he'll snap the ball to Kim on first down. Steps up, dumps it off over the middle. McMillan got spilled over, short of the 30-yard line after a gain of 3.
Really nice tackle in the open field. That's one of the things difficult to do. You got that guy one-on-one. He's got a head of steam. McMillan has been tough to bring down.
McMillan has been playing college football for a long time. His career started pre-COVID, his first season at 2019 at Weber State. And out his third year at Eastern Michigan. 2nd and 7. Here is McMillan across the 30. And that'll set up a 3rd and manageable for Eastern Michigan.
A little counter back to the weak side. Bobcats defensive front stayed home. Not a lot of room right there.
And that was actually James Joyner Jr. on the carry, his first of the season. A first-year transfer out of Liberty. He'll come off of the sidelines as Noah Kim sets up the offense on 3rd down and 4. Just one 3rd down conversion so far in the game for the Eagles, but that came on 3rd and 13. Empty backfield. Kim steps up, fires, and to the turf. That is incomplete. A low throw. And with that, Eastern Michigan's offense goes 3 and out. But there is a penalty back at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, there is a penalty at the 30-yard line. I'm not sure what that penalty is. Looks like the punting team's coming on the field. It's against the offense.
The penalty was an illegal substitution charged to the Eagles. And we mentioned the season splits again. The first half of the year, Eastern Michigan really good. The back half, they struggled. Over the final 7 games of last season, Eastern Michigan had 33 3-and-outs. A 3-and-out here brings out the punter. Mitchell Tomasek, 2-time first-team All-MAC punter, has the highest punting average in team history. A career average of more than 44 yards of punt, and punting for the 2nd time tonight. And back to return Bo Sparks, who can be electric as a returner.
They got to take their final timeout. Now they actually have 1 left now. Take a timeout. Play clock was going down, and coming from the sidelines, they couldn't get lined up. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Interesting, we haven't seen many 3-and-outs by either one of these offenses, and the defense for Texas State comes up with a 3-and-out right there.
And we will step aside. A little more than 7 minutes to go until halftime. Texas State on top of the opener over Eastern Michigan. You're watching opening night college football on ESPN. You see the Sun Belt Conference logo. Of course, the big news over the summer, Texas State now playing in its final season of the Sun Belt. They're headed to the Pac-12 officially on July 1 of 2026. As you look at the Division I affiliations, so long in the Southland and the 1AA FCS days, that 1 year in the WAC, their first as members of FBS football, and now 13 football seasons in the Sun Belt, all coming to an end this year.
Well, Pac-12 is making a rejuvenation, starting with Oregon State, Washington State, filling in, and boy, there's a lot of, all sports are going to be good in that new Pac-12.
A lot of excitement. Fresno State, Colorado State, as we see Bo Sparks backpedaling and retreats to the 6 to return. Sparks again can be very electric, but a great tackle in special teams in the open field made by Jason Marshall. And with that, the Bobcats starting deep, the deepest they've started tonight behind their own 10.
66-yard punt. A massive punt. That's a change of field position right there and great coverage.
Boise State, San Diego State as well. And then you look at basketball and the addition of Gonzaga, and baseball is added Dallas Baptist as well.
Yeah, it's all the sports are going to be very competitive.
Exciting times here in San Marcos, getting ready for the Pac-12 move.
3 different time zones.
Texas State will be the only school in the central time zone in the conference, along with the mountain schools and the Pacific Coast
For football and
as well.
basketball, but for baseball, they'll have one in Dallas Baptist.
Dallas Baptist, that's right. Drive starts behind the 10. Been a solid night so far, and Brad Jackson getting his first career start. A couple of touchdown passes in the first quarter, both to Bo Sparks. It's Lincoln Perry, has a seam. Lincoln Perry breaks a tackle. There he goes. One man to beat. Perry forced out of bounds into Eagle territory, the 35-yard line.
Well, he's so explosive at the line of scrimmage and breaks through that tackle and does a great job. And if he doesn't stumble, well, it was a tackle that almost got him on the ground. If he doesn't stumble, he had a great chance to take this to the house. So great blocking up front. Just a great job of getting a piece of him right there, and then great hustle. It's about hustling, making sure that you don't allow a guy to get into the end zone and bring him down, but an excellent run. 288 yards now total offense for Texas State.
That a 57-yard run for Perry, already over 100 yards for the game. Here is Burrell. A flag comes in near the line of scrimmage. This might be a hold against Texas State.
Now right at the point of attack, reaches out, tried to get a jersey.
5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
It's going to back them up 10.
And for the Bobcats, their third penalty of the game. Makes it now 1st and 20 from the Eastern Michigan 45.
Following the penalty, first down and 20 at the Eagle 45.
Looked like Dorian Strong was the one that got his hand
Outside those pads.
on Donovan Green. And with that, 1st and long now. Jackson keeps it himself. Jackson gives himself up just short of the 40. Short gain, and it's 2nd and long.
Well, that's a good read on the zone read. He saw the defender coming quickly, pulled it out, took it to the outside, and again, making sure he gets to the ground and not taking a blow. Make it 2nd down.
Brad Jackson, starting quarterback this year, backed up Jordan McLeod a year ago, was 1 year and done at Texas State. Jackson for Sparks, and tackled right away. The open field as the Bobcats navigate back to the original line of scrimmage. That'll set up 3rd and 10.
Sparks just allows the inside receiver to clear and then breaks in right behind him, and football is delivered perfectly. Now another biggest first down of the biggest 3rd down for Texas State in the half right here.
And I also wonder too, Keith, depending on what happens with 3rd down, is this 4-down territory for
That's
Texas State?
a good point, but it is not a field goal range because not into this breeze.
3rd and 10. It's a draw. Perry. Lincoln Perry doing his thing again. On the draw, down to the 22. That'll move the sticks.
Now you catch a team that's looking for a pass, and you go to the draw. Perry does a great job right there, and then, boy, he finishes the end of this to get the 1st down.
Lincoln Perry has run for 70 yards on this drive alone. Up to $131 on the night. Ran for more than 140 yards in the bowl win a year ago. Perry again. Perry. Lincoln Perry. All the way to the goal line for the touchdown.
That's a great individual effort right here. He gets a good block from the tight end who comes in motion and just finishes the last 5 or 6 yards, dragging defenders into the end zone.
A 22-yard gallop to pay dirt for Lincoln Perry. 14th career rushing touchdown. 1st of this season. And that drive was all Lincoln Perry. The Bobcats wind up going 92 yards in the drive. 92 of the yards picked up by Lincoln Perry.
Just an unbelievable first half. Got to give a lot of credit. Perry's done an outstanding job, Brent, but how about this offensive line? Started to put back together. It's a new group together. Well, they've done an outstanding job. If this stands up, and I believe it will stand up for the touchdown, 333 yards of offense in the first half for Texas State.
And they are reviewing the play to make sure that Perry crossed the plane before his knee went down. And a replay official taking a long look. Kerry Walters.
It's confirmed. Touchdown.
Does confirm the score. Touchdown holds for Perry. A 5-play, 92-yard drive. All Lincoln Perry. Movement on that right side of the PAT unit. This will back Texas State up.
False start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty, untimed down. You
referenced the total yards for the Bobcats, 333. They set the school record for total yards in the game a year ago with more than 700 against Southern Miss, and they're kind of on that pace right now.
No question. And it's been most of it on the ground as well.
Robles knocks it through to make it a 14-point lead, 24-10. Texas State on top. And let's take a look at the drive, again featuring a lot of Lincoln Perry.
Yeah, first snap of the deal, almost takes it to the house. A nice job of getting it down the field. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line, that's the first, and then comes back, makes an outstanding run here. Gets scissored in the air and then finishes it right here, does Lincoln Perry. Just dragging defenders into the end zone.
And how about the end zone celebration as well for Lincoln Perry?
He almost bounced it there on his helmet. I mean, it wasn't like it would roll right over.
No.
He was up there straight up and down, but you were making the point. 231 yards on the ground here in the first half for Texas State, and most of that Lincoln Perry.
And you do the football math there, 19 carries. Texas State is averaging more than 12 yards a carry on the ground. Perry himself is averaging 19.
You always tip your cap to the running back, but a lot of that's on that offensive front as well. I mean, they're doing their job.
After the touchdown drive, Michael James will kick back off to the Eagles. They've been playing from behind the entire night. Bobcats took the opening drive in for a score, and they have led ever since. And that knuckles out of bounds. That'll give the Eagles possession at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, good starting field position. They need some points here. They need one of those drives themselves where they take it down and find a way to get it in the end zone. 3 minutes, 56 seconds.
Ball will be placed 35
one
yards.
timeout left plus the 2-minute timeout.
If you're Eastern Michigan here, the ideal situation, yes, is to go down the field and score and use clock and not give the Bobcats another chance. And then Eastern Michigan would get the ball again to start the third quarter. First play of this series, receiver sweep. Prosper finds the edge and forced out just short of the 20-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Nice job. It looked like he was going to get the corner turn, Brant, and just couldn't get it done. It does get positive yardage, but couldn't get the corner and get north and south.
Got forced out by Traylon Payne, second-year transfer out of Houston, part of this Texas State linebacking core. After 4-yard gain, to the ground go the Eagles again. McMillan to the sidelines. As we approach 3 minutes to go, 3rd down and short coming up for Eastern Michigan.
McMillan's really finished his runs tonight. He does not go down easily.
And a look there, Perry getting a breather after his big drive. Eastern Michigan looking at 3rd down and short, 3rd and a yard. What amounts to an important drive here for EMU. It's McMillan looking to turn the corner, and he does, and he's got the 1st down, but this might come back. Penalty marker all the way back in the line of scrimmage. That will erase the 1st down run from McMillan.
If you're one of the wide receivers and you're trying to block, you come down and you see the running back coming your way. You don't want your guy to get him. Just reached out,
10 yards previous spot.
grabbed the jersey.
Third down.
It's going to back him up 10 instead of 3rd and short. It's going to be 3rd and almost 11.
4th penalty of the game for Eastern Michigan. Chris Creighton never said his team had to play a flawless game, but they had to limit self-inflicted wounds, and this one's a big one. You go from a 1st down inside of midfield to 3rd and 11 from the 35. And you know that Bobcat offense wants to get right back onto the field following the drive that led to a touchdown moments ago. Kim flushed out off his back foot, throws, diving catch is made by Lockett, and that's good for a first down.
What an outstanding play from Lockett. Kim, first of all, buying enough time to get to the outside, throwing the football. Didn't think Lockett had a prayer to get to this football. You can see him as he moves to the outside. Lockett lays his body out. What a great catch. And you see him turn his body as he catches it. That takes us to the 2-minute timeout, but what a nice pitch and catch.
2 minutes to go in the first half. Eastern Michigan on the move, looking for a score, down 24-10. You're watching the season opener between the Bobcats and the Eagles here on ESPN+. Two minutes to go here in the first half. Coming up at the half, we'll take a look at the upcoming ESPN Plus broadcast schedule. Also talk a lot about the Sun Belt Conference, the preseason honorees, and then preseason poll, along with the first half highlights and stats here from UFCU Stadium. 24-10, Texas State on top, but Eastern Michigan following a big third down conversion on the move near midfield. Blitz here in first down, and this is Dunlap who is forced back. Going to lose a yard. There's that Texas State defense getting a stop on first down.
Now trying to surprise Texas State with a run right there. They want to come away with points because they get the ball to start the second half, as you were talking about. So you don't want to leave any time on the clock, but they're going to have to put it in the air here on second and long.
And look at Tymier Jackson, senior out of Woodbury, New Jersey. Second year with the program. Didn't see a lot of action a year ago, but figures to be a big part of the defensive front this season. Second down and 11. Kim over the middle on the little crossing route. Crosby with the tackle on the catch made by Porter Rooks. That'll bring up third down as we approach a minute to go.
Right back to the line of scrimmage here, trying to go in a hurry.
Third and 3. Already one big third down conversion on the drive, and a throw from Kim, and connects again. Inside the 40 to move the chains, and again finds Terry Lockett.
Well, Lockett just secured it to keep that foot in bounds there. Long pass from one hash mark all the way across the field, but doesn't get enough to get the first down, and more importantly stops the clock.
10 completions for Kim of the game. Half of them have gone to Lockett so far. Movement up front. This might be an offsides against Texas State.
I think they were in the neutral zone, and I think it will move them forward 5 yards.
Offside. Defense number 8. 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
So far, one of the goals has been accomplished by Eastern Michigan on the drive, chew up clock. But more importantly, Keith, they have to finish the second half of that and finish.
Yeah, they want to finish with 6 and not just the 3.
One timeout left for Eastern Michigan with under a minute to go. A lot of finger pointing both ways.
I think this is going to be illegal procedure. They're going to call it offsides again.
5 yards. Results in a first down.
So back-to-back offsides penalties.
They got 10 yards without a second going off the clock.
That'll place the ball to 28. 7 play the drive coming up. 2 big penalties, 2 big third down throws for Noah Kim so far. Looks to be changed the play call here. And just got the snap off in time. Kim, well protected, dumps it off over the middle. Short pickup. Brooks on the catch. Brings up second down with 35 seconds left. The Eagles now the hurry up. Pass to the sidelines and out of bounds. Goes to tight end long. That'll stop the clock with 26 seconds left and bring up third down.
Well, nice job by Kim that time. Realized, I need some yardage, but also need to stop the clock. So got it out of his hands in a hurry on a quick out. I would find where Lockett is. More than likely, this ball's going to go in his direction.
Third down and 2. Kim taking a downfield shot, incomplete. Looking for Rooks. Curious play call there. The Eagles just needed 2 yards to keep the drive alive, but the pass goes to the end zone.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Obviously, they knew they were going to go for it on 4th down, so they were trying to get the big play right there. Now this becomes, you got to have 2, 21 seconds to go.
Texas State going to talk about this on defense. Timeout call by G.J. Kenny. Second timeout of the half for Texas State.
All right, you got 2 ways to look at this. I mean, obviously you have a timeout. You're going to save that in case you need it to kick the field goal. The other part of that is going forward here on 4th down. Do you try to get a big play? Do you take something in zone, or do you put yourself in a position to stop the clock after the deal and spike it? Whatever you're thinking about doing. I think my first thought is let's get the first down first and worry about the points later. But as a defender on the other side of that, you can't bite on anything short thinking, oh, they're just going to try to get the first down, because they may be thinking about a double move to the end zone.
Chris Creighton really animated talking to his team on the sidelines after the timeout called by Texas State. And the unit coming out for Eastern Michigan, it's the offense.
Yeah, you have a lot of guys coming from different directions when you have today's transfer portal. So a lot of times that mesh of knowing what kind of plays, your playbook gets thinner because of that.
4th down and 2. There's a big target, lock it in motion. Kim rolling his way. Kim on the run, can run for it, and he will. To the sideline, stops the clock with 16 seconds to go.
That's a really nice play, and it's a nice recognition by Kim. You know, he could have tried to pitch and catch that, so I can get out of bounds, stop the clock, and get the first down. That gets him at least 3 more plays because of that, with 3 shots to try to get it into the end zone.
Really haven't seen Kim use his legs in this game. Big 4th-down conversion there. And now the Eagles inside the red zone. 1 timeout left, 16 seconds to go. Kim taking a shot in the end zone for the touchdown. What a drive for EMU. It is the tight end Joshua Long on the strike from Noah Kim.
But spread everybody out, empty backfield. Brandt and did a nice job getting his big tight end just on a seam. You know, the motion runs to the left. He falls right in behind it, finds that soft spot. Pitch and catch for the touchdown. What a drive by Eastern Michigan, who will get the ball to start the second half.
They accomplished everything they wanted to do on that drive. 2 big 3rd-down conversions. Able to convert on 4th and 2. Got back-to-back offsides penalties against Texas State, leading to another first down. So 11 plays and 65 yards later, this is now a 1-score game.
Very entertaining first half. What a nice job by Kim. Just really nice job. A great route. Sold it to the outside, came back, found that little soft spot. And how about the big man going up, securing the football for the touchdown?
Joshua Long, big target, the tight end, 6'5", 245. Transfer out of El Camino Community College, where he caught 6 touchdown passes a year ago. That is first with Eastern Michigan. And for Noah Kim, also his first EMU touchdown pass. And this is a 24-17 game with 12 seconds to go. And the momentum will be on the Eagles' side when we get ready for the start of the second half.
Well, 565 yards of offense by both of these teams here in the first half. It has gone up and down the field, to say the least.
No turnovers for either team. Ball security always paramount.
Time of possession is almost just even.
It has been a clean offensive game, but a lot left to be desired from the 2 defenses. We will again see Dibert kicking with a win. Figure there's no chance for a return here for Texas State.
Yeah, he's got a strong leg.
He was putting the ball into the end zone against the win tonight. And Dibert, as expected, sails that one into the end zone, but this will be returned by Jenkins. And Jenkins unable to reach the 20, stop at the 15-yard line, and figure we'll see a kneel down here for the offense to get ready for halftime.
I don't think there's a question. Like I said, very entertaining first half where both offenses controlled what's going on. See what adjustments both of these teams make here at halftime.
231 yards of offense for EMU, 333 for Texas State. Both offenses have been rather balanced tonight as well. The Bobcats on the ground have racked up more than 200 yards of offense. The passing game, not as many yards, but it's been efficient from Brad Jackson. A couple of touchdown passes to start the game, but his first career start. And with that, it's been a good start, too, for first-year offensive coordinator Landon Keppel, calling a good game. It's not a kneel down, it's Lincoln Perry. And he'll settle for about 5 yards there to bring us to the end of the first half.
Really good, entertaining first half. See what adjustments these 2 defense make, because like I said, we nearly 570 yards of total offense by these 2 clubs in the first half. See what defense, what adjustments are made at halftime.
At the half of this matchup between the MAC and the Sun Belt, advantage SBC on top, 24-17. Halftime coverage coming up. You're watching college football on ESPN. And welcome back to UFCU Stadium at the half. Texas State on top of Eastern Michigan, 24-17 in the season opener. Do note that the Eagles will have the football to start the second half here tonight. Our game, our broadcast here on ESPN Plus, and we have a lot more coming up. And our ESPN Plus coverage, a couple of soccer matches over the next week. The Bobcats hosting a couple of Power 4 schools, Oklahoma and Baylor. The week after, Texas State Volleyball playing its first 3 home matches of the year against Arizona State, Tulsa, and Incarnate Word. Our next football broadcast September 20th when Texas State hosts Nichols. Score of the half again. Bobcats 24, Eagles 17. For halftime coverage coming up from UFCU Stadium. Entertaining first half. Texas State on top of Eastern Michigan, 24-17. Let's talk a little bit more about the Sun Belt Conference here, Keith, and the preseason honorees, starting with the Offensive Preseason Player of the Year, hailing from Southern Miss, transfer quarterback Braylon Braxton.
Right, when you look at Braxton, we knew what he was going to do. Had a really good ball game today against Mississippi State. He's one of those guys that you just look at his numbers, they just jump off the page. One of the other things is Lincoln Riley. I mean, Lincoln Perry is
Making
going to
his
be.
case.
He's making a case right now.
Defensive Player of the Year honors in the preseason belong to Blaine Myrick from South Alabama, who's second team All Sun Belt a year ago.
Yeah, he was an outstanding player last year. He's a guy that I expect big things from. You get 100 tackles in a football season. That's a tremendous number.
And finally, a look at the Sun Belt's preseason special teams Player of the Year, Clune Van Andel from Arkansas State, one of the great kickers in the history of the Sun Belt.
Yeah, you just look at it. His name, Lou grows a watch with. He's one of the better ones in the country. PAT 33 for 33.
So again, that'll look at the preseason offensive, defensive, and special team players of the year in the Sun Belt Conference. Score at the half, Texas State 24, Eastern Michigan 17. We'll talk more about the Fun Belt after this from UFCU Stadium. One of the cool scenes here at UFC Stadium has been when the stadium goes dark, and now you've seen the drone show lighting things up here in San Marcos. Fans have their phones out as well. Really neat visual here in San Marcos as our halftime coverage continues. Texas State on top of Eastern Michigan, 24-17. A 7-point lead for the Bobcats here at the half. We talked about the Sun Belt Conference a little bit moments ago about the preseason honors. Now the preseason poll. By the way, this is noting the move to the Pac-12. But you look at the poll in both the West and East divisions, what stands out?
Well, I think two things that stands out. James Madison has been that team for me that I felt like that they were going to be exceptionally good. The fall off probably for me is surprising a little bit is Coastal Carolina, where they've been the last few years. Then on the other side of it, it's been, in my opinion, it's been Texas State and Louisiana the last couple of years that are the cream of the crop, and you see both of them got 6 first-place votes. The vote's a little different. Louisiana's on top, but first-place votes by coaches especially, you see 6 apiece.
When Texas State plays Louisiana in Lafayette on November the 8th, they'll be looking for their first ever win over the Raging Cajuns, and that game could maybe decide the front-runner in the West.
No doubt.
When we get to that point of the year. At the break, Texas State on top of Eastern Michigan, 24-17. Up next, we have your first half highlights and some stats for you as well. Bobcats on top over the Eagles as you're watching our halftime coverage here on ESPN Plus in front of the drone show at UFCU Stadium. And welcome back to UFCU Stadium, 24-17. Texas State on top at the half. The Bobcats looking to win a season opener for a third straight time under head coach G.J. Kinney. Alongside Keith Moreland, I'm Brent Freeman. Glad to have you with us here on ESPN+. Entertaining first half that saw a lot of offense from both teams.
No question about it. When you look at it, started on the very first drive of the game. As you look at the Bobcats, they take the football, go right down the field, put it in the end zone. Then it was back and forth. It became a 14-point margin. But you looked at the Eagles, they made a really good job of coming back in that first half. And just started it. Great opening possession, go right down the field. Nice across the middle. Here come the Eagles right back and get 3. And the Bobcats answered just like that. It's 14-3. Turn back, and then all of a sudden, the local product gets into the Dunlap scores. And the answer on the next possession, go down, and this is right before the half. What an outstanding pitch and catch to get the Eagles right back in this ball game.
And of course, we saw a huge first half from Lincoln Perry as well, rumbling in for a 22-yard touchdown run here. Part of a monster first half for Perry. 9 carries, 158 yards, and a headstand on top of that as well.
Yeah, and you look at it, but the Eagles found their way, made their way back in the ball game with that great drive right at the end of the half to come away with a touchdown. Now they get the ball here to start the second half. I'm always interested to see what coaching staffs, especially defensive staffs, how they adjust at halftime, see which one of these staffs make an adjustment. 570 yards of total offense by these two teams in the first half.
And again, Eastern Michigan coming off that huge touchdown drive towards the end of the first half. Will get possession to start the second half. A couple of big third down conversions and a 4th-and-2 conversion as well on the legs of Noah Kim. So penalties along the way aiding that touchdown drive for Eastern Michigan. As we get ready for the second half kickoff, student body very engaged here tonight. The first of 6 home games here at Texas State. Played 7 at home a year ago. Going 4-3 at home at UFCU Stadium. A memorable win over rival UTSA. And those two will meet in the Alamo Dome next week in San Antonio.
And then an outstanding football game here last year was the Arizona State team that came here. It was a great ball game. Texas State's got to make the return trip to Tempe.
And we saw the Bobcats give the Sun Devils all they could handle in that game. They bottled up Cam Scattaboo, and that wound up being a Sun Devils team that had a nice playoff run this past season.
No question. I mean, a team that really the second half of the season might have been one of the better teams in the country.
Arizona State ranked 11th coming into the country, or 11th in the country coming into the season this year. And on Texas State's schedule in week 3 in Tempe. Opening second half kickoff from Michael James. And the third quarter underway. And a fair catch made inside the 10. And with that, we'll take a look at the first half numbers. As Keith pointed out, a lot of offenses for the two teams.
Well, when you look at it, just incredible. 35 plays for Texas State for 338 yards. How about 34 plays for 231 yards? The third down numbers, okay, but the big numbers for me are the bottom two, Grant. Neither team turned the football over. They were very good taking care of the ball in the first half. And that's unusual in game 1 because, you don't have as much tackling in the preseason as you do once you get into a ball game.
Noah Kim in the first half, 13 completions for 134 yards and a touchdown. First play of the third quarter. Kim to the air, over the middle, and that's broken up by Will Mitchell II. In his second year of the program, that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
A really nice job of recognition there from Mitchell. Saw that it was going to be after the RPO, the fake. Pulled it out, just cut in front and knocked it down with his left hand.
The goal for this Eastern Michigan offense is to be balanced. So far, the play calling has been split evenly between the run and the pass. 18 passes, 17 runs so far for Eastern Michigan. The calls from offensive coordinator Mike Piakowski. A former quarterback for Chris Creighton, and he was the head coach at Drake. A pitch out and another big run here for the ground game for the Eagles. Across the 35, that'll move the chains of the run for McMillan.
Well, Kim is not a guy that wants to run the option. That's one of the reasons he left Coastal Carolina, but he runs the option there to perfection.
After a gain of 11, first down for the 36. Dante McMillan, not quite the night that Lincoln Perry used to have, but averaging 10 yards a carry himself.
We're changing everything here. Play clock down under 5.
On 1st and 10, here's a blitz from Texas State. Offensive line picks it up, and the pass sails incomplete, looking for Rooks. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Ryan Nolan on coverage for Texas State.
Yeah, but that was all about pressure that time. Kim had to stay in that pocket. They had great pressure from all sides. Really couldn't step in and deliver the football. So good push up front. Now it'll be 2nd and 10.
Ryan Nolan, one of the 2 defensive captains for Texas State, was the Bobcats' second leading tackler a year ago. Now 2nd and 10. It's a run, and it is Dunlap who gets chopped down. It's Rios making another play. That's twice now Rios has come from his corner spot to make a play around or behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, he's done a nice job. That's a little counter. And a dime package comes into the game for Texas State as they bring some extra defensive backs onto the field here. 3rd and long here on this first possession.
So far, Noah Kim been rather fearless on 3rd downs in the game. A couple of big conversions in the first half, including 3rd and 13 and another 3rd and 10. This 3rd and 11.
Not going to get it off.
Play clock winds down to 0. And the Eagles did not get the timeout in time.
Saw something and wanted to make the change, but it's hard with 5-6 seconds left on the clock to make a change and get the ball snapped.
It is 3rd down.
5th penalty of the game against Eastern Michigan makes it 3rd and 16. The Eagles have to reach the 46 to keep the drive going. Conservative play call, McMillan across the 35. Well short of the first down. Mitchell on the tackle. And Eastern Michigan's offense unable to keep the drive moving. They'll punt the ball to Texas State.
Yeah, the penalty just put them so far behind the chains that they decided, hey, we'll let them play defense, kick it away. Wind behind him. 66-yard punt the last time this ball was punted.
Bo Sparks again back to return for the Bobcats. And here's a punt from Topasek. Sparks lets it go. And the Bobcats will have the football for the first time in the 3rd quarter from their own 20. 12:16 to go in the 3rd. Texas State coming on an offense for the first time in the 2nd half, looking to build upon a 24-17 lead. You're watching opening night coverage between the MAC and the Sun Belt on ESPN+. Back at UFCU Stadium, Texas State on top 24-17. Something new for G.J. Kinney this year is that his opening night quarterback, his starting quarterback coming into the season, does not have a single start under his belt. Tonight for Brad Jackson, the first of his career, the quarterbacks he's had prior, they've had experience.
They've had experience, and the other part about this is the first one that's been on campus, though, with him for more than 6 months. Because Brad Jackson, this is his second year within the program, so it is interesting to note that. And you can just listen to Coach Kinney. He's very excited about this young man.
So far, Brad Jackson's night, 8 of 15, over 100 yards, and a couple of touchdown passes along the way. And this running play blown up. That's Torrance Burgess. His first carry tonight. And the Bobcats now looking at 2nd and 10.
See what adjustments defensively. Bobcats defensively made an adjustment, got to stop. See if the Eagles' halftime adjustments can slow down this Bobcat offense.
More on Brad Jackson. G.J. Kinney knew the moment that he got onto campus that there was something special about him. Just now it's a matter of him proving himself. And here on the exchange, able to hand it off. That's Burrell. On a good second down run to make third down manageable here on Texas State's second half series.
That's a good read right there. He gets tackled, does Jackson, because they think he's got the ball. Nice little play to the outside of the zone read, and now brings up the 3rd and 2. 2 backs in the backfield here.
Burrell and Perry, the two have combined for over 200 yards on the night. Texas State 4 of 6 and 3rd down. It is Perry, the ball carrier. Now to keep the drive going for Texas State.
When Lincoln Perry sees his gap, the acceleration is so quick into the hole right there. That looked like it was stopped, and he just found that one little seam and accelerated through it.
You go back to the bowl game against North Texas this past January, and Lincoln Perry has run for over 300 yards in his last 2 games. Jackson taking a downfield shot for Sparks and makes the catch. What a throw, what a catch from Sparks. First down for the Bobcats into Eagle territory.
What a great job by Sparks to react to the football. Back shoulder throw on the outside. It was good coverage, but a perfect throw and a great adjustment to the football right here. Come down into Eastern Michigan territory.
Just great touch on that pass from Jackson.
No doubt.
Best throw he's had tonight. After a gain of 33, Perry stopped for a short pickup on first down.
Different personnel into the game for the Bobcats. That gives the Eagles a chance to match. Some new defensive front in there.
Torrance Burgess back into the backfield for the Bobcats. No Perry or Burrell on this upcoming play, which marks the 6th of the drive. Jackson rifles that complete. And a broken tackle inside the 30. It's Dawn. Down to the Eagles' 19-yard line for a first down.
Well, really nice job by Dawn. It's again a drag. Inside receiver goes deep. Drag in underneath it. Shields uses his body as a shield and then breaks a tackle and takes it into the red zone.
The Bobcats had so many weapons at receiver last year. Joey Hobart, Jaden Williams, and Cole Wilson. But Dawn still made his share of plays. Had a big game against UTSA. And later in the year, a 3-touchdown night against Georgia State. As Jackson dumps that over the middle. Another broken tackle. It's Burgess inside the 10. And the Bobcats have goal to go coming up.
Player down for Eastern Michigan. What a good move to spin out of the tackle.
An injury timeout for the Eagles player. Down to the 20-yard line.
You never know, Brant. You and I talked this week, and we're leading up, looking excited about the game coming. You never know what the offensive lines for either one of these teams are going to be, because there's so many different moving parts in there that to get in it. But both of these offensive lines have been outstanding tonight.
And with the injury timeout, we will step aside. Under 9 to go in the third. 24-17, Texas State on top here on ESPN+. We saw an impressive drive to open the game from Texas State, and another impressive one moving here to open the second half. First drive of the third quarter for the Bobcats so far is eating up more than 70 yards. They play the drive coming up with Texas State now set up inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they've been able to do it with a really good pitch and catch, and again, the ground game has been outstanding, Grant.
Jackson on the drive, 3 of 3 passing for 59 yards. Sparks in motion. Jackson looking his way. Sparks will be stemmed out of bounds at around the 5. And that'll bring up second and goal.
Just trying to tightrope that sideline. Really well-designed play on an RPO, and really difficult to cover because of the play action. Spread them out now, 4 wide receivers, sideline to sideline.
And now Lincoln Perry back into the backfield. Second and goal for the 5. Jackson on the keeper. And Brad Jackson going to lean up to about the 3. And now third and goal, and the topic of 4-down territory comes up again here.
Well, it does. I mean, it is still a one-possession game. You want points, and you want 6 if you're down here. You're going to see a jumbo package come into the game here. A couple of tight ends coming into the ball game.
Titus Lyons and Blake Smith. Sparks and Dawn remain at receiver with Perry in the backfield. Third and goal for Jackson. Looks, fires, Sparks, third time tonight. And Texas State builds upon its lead over Eastern Michigan.
This is a really well-designed play, Grant. They run the little play action to the tailback, the RPO to the outside, and just Sparks starts out on the left, just drags right in behind the play action, and wide open for the pitch and catch for the touchdown.
And he is quickly becoming the red zone target for Brad Jackson. A 3-touchdown night for Jackson, 3 for Sparks. And the point after good to make it 31-17 Texas State. The Bobcats go 80 yards in 10 plays, and with that on top by a pair of touchdowns. We'll step aside from UFCU Stadium, back with more of the season opener after this on ESPN+. Taking you back to the try for Texas State, a lot of Brad Jackson hooking up with Bo Sparks as the Bobcats navigate 80 yards in 10 plays, finding the end zone again.
Yeah, they found some good balance. They do it, break a couple of tackles, but Sparks with a really nice play here to get the touchdown. You see the RPO, and then he just drags right behind the linebackers, wide open.
A hat trick tonight for Bo Sparks, 3 touchdowns in his season debut. James kicking off to Eastern Michigan again. Their catch made to the 5, and Eastern Michigan will set up shop at the 25-yard line.
Well, the Eagles have had opportunities to answer. You almost feel like this is a must come away with points here, and more than likely 6 stay in this ball game and see if they can let their defense get a blow a little bit here. It's a warm day. We haven't had it started out at 100, but with some storms in the area, it cooled off a little bit here this evening, but we still have a bunch of humidity, and you'd love to get your defense a little rest right now here in the second half.
That's a great point, because the way that Texas State's offense is playing, Eastern Michigan, when they have the football, you feel the need to find the end zone to keep pace. Unless Eastern Michigan's defense can show it can get some stops, as this first pass falls incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they were really balanced in that first half, and that was one of my keys to this game, is they needed to stay balanced throughout the ball game. It's become more pass-oriented now. You can't just totally give up on the running game.
A little more than 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A 2-touchdown lead for Texas State. On second down, here's a blitz. Kim feeling the heat, dumps it off over the middle. For about 3. Well, the catch made from Rooks, and now EMU faced with 3rd and long.
Nolan does a nice job of recognizing that from his free safety position. Comes up, makes a nice tackle here.
Third and 7. Bobcats showing blitz again, and with that, Kim's going to talk to the offensive line and change the play call. They're bringing it. Kim, protection breaks down, and down he goes. Dropped back at the 25-yard line. Now on the sack there for Texas State, it's Terrence Cooks, and the Eagles go 3 and out.
Did a nice job to just get pressure on the outside, force Kim up in the pocket. And got to give Cooks a lot of credit. He breaks off from the outside, doesn't allow him to get into the seam, and a 3 and out for the Eagles.
Texas State's defense really got after opposing quarterbacks last year, averaged about 3 sacks a game. That ranked 18th in the country. At their second sack tonight of Kim. A line drive punt this time. And Sparks will let it go as it rolls inside the 35.
Well, this is a chance when you already got some separation here. Now, if you're the Bobcats, if you can find a way to put this one in the end zone, you might put this thing away here with 5:41 to go in the third quarter. On the other side, if you're Eastern Michigan, you got to find a way to get a stop right now, a 3 and out.
There are some question marks about the Bobcats offensively coming into the season. You lose big pieces like Motti and Wilson and Hobart and Williams. 4 players that combined for more than 3,300 yards last year. How do you replace that? Well, tonight, offensively, more than 400 yards for Texas State and a great balance between the run and the pass. As Jackson hands off to Burgess on first down. Torrance Burgess has a seam. Picks up 10 on first down to move the sticks.
These guys up front for Texas State are winning. They're winning the line of scrimmage right now.
And that was another question mark coming into the year, the offensive line. The 2 returning starters are Dorian Strawn and Talik Lockett, the anchors up front for G.J. Kinney. They added Brock Riker over the offseason as he's now a redshirt freshman within the program. And Sully Burns now getting starting duties this year up front as Burgess gets the call again. This time stopped after a short pickup. Tyro Martin on the tackle, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, question asked, question answered right now from this offensive front. Just to take the point you were making a little further, they have been outstanding tonight.
Brant Jackson sacked the 1 time, hasn't taken many hits beyond that, and certainly a lot of running room for all the backs this evening. And Texas State has won the line of scrimmage as Jackson keeps it. Brad Jackson turns on the afterburners and takes it out of bounds into Eagles territory.
Well, it's just another good read. He sees that defensive end collapse and just pulls it out and puts so much pressure when the quarterback has the ability to pull it out, get a first down as he did right there.
Felt like if you're Eastern Michigan defensively, you had to get a stop on this possession.
No doubt.
But the Bobcats have already navigated into EMU territory. First down inside the 45-yard line. For an offense averaging more than 9 yards a play.
I think Texas State had to take a timeout.
Under 4 to go in the third. 31-17, Bobcats on top. You know, the motto for this team, mantra, since G.J. Kinney became the head coach was take over Texas. and you look at the teams in the Lone Star State, how they have done over the last 2 years, the only two programs in Texas with better winning percentages, the University of Texas and SMU.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of finding a way to recruit within the state against, the SEC, the Big 12, the Conference USA. There's just so many, the ACC. So it's about recruiting. You want to win the state. If you're going to get players to come, you got to beat those teams to recruit players.
And of course, it was the debut game for G.J. Kinney, beating a fellow FBS Texas program on the road in Waco against Baylor. Definitely a sign of things to come for this program moving forward. Out of the timeout, 1st and 10. Jackson rips one over the middle to the tight end, Blake Smith. Picks up 9 on 1st down.
Interesting description. I agree with you. When Jackson decides to throw the football, the ball just spins out of his hands. He rips it. He throws a fastball.
14 completions now for Jackson, over 170 yards in his first career start. And on 2nd and 1, Jackson on the keeper to the outside and able to muscle his way for a 1st down.
We didn't see Jackson but a few times in the first half pull it out in the zone read. Here in the second half, he's done it now 5 different times, and to go along with his throwing the football, now his legs are becoming part of this offense as well.
Texas State has had the ball for more than 23 minutes, really started to wear down that EMU defense with a 6th play of the drive coming up. Has already consumed about 3 minutes off the clock. Screenplay, and that gets sniffed out by Eastern Michigan. It's Llewellyn on the tackle of Dawn, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
That play was very successful in the first half. Good adjustment to that play here in the second half. They were able to get some penetration and take away that little bubble screen on the outside.
They actually lost here for Dawn, and we haven't seen much of that. Negative plays or plays going for 0 yards.
You're right.
The Bobcats have been ahead of the chains all night long. 2nd and 11. Jackson over the middle for Perry. Perry's got space, and Perry takes it inside the 15 and down to the 10.
Well, this is all set up by the offensive line recognizing and picking up the blitz, as the Eagles came with a blitz that time, and a nice job of picking that up, and just nice job by Jackson recognizing it and dropping it down. In the red zone again.
One of the strengths of this Eastern Michigan defense has been its ability over the years under Chris Creighton to provide multiple looks. But this Bobcat offense has not been confused by any of them tonight.
Well, they've seen multiple looks from the Bobcats as well.
On 1st down, it's Lincoln Perry squeezing through to the 5. Another positive run for Perry with 60 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And the running game for the Bobcats now nearing 300 yards on the night. Ninth play of the drive as Dawn comes in motion. It's Perry again, looking for a cutback lane, and a flag flies, 2 of them. And we'll see if this is a hold against Texas State.
Now there's one from the outside. There could be 2 penalties on this play. Could be offsetting.
On the play, holding offense, number 86. Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 16. Those fouls offset. Replay 2nd down.
So offsetting penalties, it will remain 2nd down and goal.
And the holding penalty happened early right here. You can see they're just reaching up, grabbing and holding to that back arm. The face mask happened on the outside. So offsetting, we'll do it again.
Blitz from Eastern Michigan. Jackson thrown to the end zone. What a night, Bo Sparks. Make it 4.
Have a night. As really good little RPO. Catch him inside, get the linebackers drawn up, and then Sparks again just finds that little crease right at the back of the end zone for the touchdown.
An absolutely dominant night for Bo Sparks in the red zone. Player that was once the finalist for the FCS Freshman of the Year this time at Utah Tech. As the point after is good, putting the Bobcats on top 38-17. You look back at Sparks' career, I mentioned his time at Utah Tech, and really exploded onto the scene in his very first game, more than 140 yards against one of the great FCS programs, Montana State. Now finds himself in year 2 at Texas State and has found the end zone 4 times tonight.
Yeah, and he's not a big guy, but he's capable of going across the middle, especially down in the red zone, and just finds those little creases down there where the playing field shrinks. You got to find little creases. And how about pitch and catch 4 times tonight?
Keith, are you a fantasy football guy?
No, but if you had Jackson and Sparks tonight, you would be pretty good.
Oh, you'd be dominating your league for sure. Bo Sparks, 7 catches, 82 yards, 4 of those into pay dirts. And I go back to what G.J. Kinnigan told us, and there was no hyperbole about it. Sparks and Dawn, one of the top group of 5 receiving tandems in the nation, and they approved that tonight.
They've both been outstanding. It's been a really good game plan. 484 yards of total offense.
And if there were any questions about Brian Jackson as a starter, he's answered those in his first career start.
The other part, neither team, as a matter of fact, have turned the football over.
Jackson did lose a fumble early in the game, but recovered by a lineman. Beyond that, Bobcats have taken ball security to heart. After the 9-play, 66-yard touchdown drive, the ensuing kickoff. And this has mattered across the 20-yard line. And with 13 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Eagles take over. And there, a look at Bo Sparks, and his 4 touchdowns have tied a single-game program record here at Texas State.
4 receiving touchdowns. I'm surprised somebody has had that before. That's a big number, 4.
Lincoln Perry, he can count. Happy for his teammate on the sidelines. Those two have combined for a huge game tonight as Noah Kim takes over. And fires that for Mattern. And wrapped up right away, the point of attack by Mitchell. And that's going to end the third quarter. So Texas State led by 7 at the half. The defense pitches a third quarter shutout, and the offense scores twice. 2 more touchdowns for Bo Sparks. And with that, the Bobcats will carry a 21-point lead into the fourth. 38-17 the lead over Eastern Michigan here on ESPN+.
38-17, we start the fourth quarter. How did we get there? Well, Bo Sparks is a major part of it. The junior from El Paso, Texas, scores the first touchdown of the game. Really good seam route for his second touchdown of the ball game. And then this one, what an outstanding catch on the outside, sets him up, and then a drag across the middle. Count it, that's 3. Then comes back with his fourth, a record-tying 4 touchdowns on the night for the junior from El Paso, Bo Sparks.
So Bo Sparks, 4 touchdown catches. Lincoln Perry, over 160 yards rushing. Brad Jackson, over 200 yards passing. A big offensive night for the Bobcats to open up the 20-25 years. Kim throws that one to the sidelines looking for Lockett. That'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Well, they tried to run an influence play thinking everything was going to go to the right, and then Kim bails out of it, spins out of it. That's an influence to the short side of the field, comes back to the wide side of the field, but just great coverage on the interior drag, the post drag, and the deep ball. Nowhere to go with the football. Great coverage.
With the Bobcats on top now by 3 scores, that really limits the playbook options if you're Eastern Michigan. They've been effective running the football, but now you can't.
Yeah, they had to stay. Couldn't become one-dimensional. They're one-dimensional now with throwing the football.
Kim pressured, and that's incomplete. Credit the pass rush for Texas State, a part of the defense that figures to be a strength all year long. And the Eagles go 3 and out.
You talked about how this defense, the adjustments. We talked about it at halftime. It was a 7-point game. You looked at halftime. Which defense can make adjustments? Well, got to give a lot of credit to this Bobcat defense. This is their second 3 and out here in the second half.
The 3rd 3 and out total for the game for Eastern Michigan. And the game getting out of reach for the visitors out of Ypsilanti. The punt from Tomasek. Sparks from the 33. Bo Sparks down the sidelines, gets a block, goes out of bounds. What a night for Bo Sparks. Bo Sparks enjoying his season opener. Bobcats on top 38-17 with the offense coming back onto the field, taking over in Eagles territory when we come back. Keep getting caught up in all the gaudy numbers for Lincoln Perry and Bo Sparks and Brad Jackson, but the forgotten guys, the guys up front, And you look, and coming into the season, no offensive line in the nation heavier than Texas State's. On average, 6'5" across the front at more than 340 pounds.
Yeah, and they've been outstanding tonight. You look, you just can't be as balanced as Texas State has been tonight without that offensive line playing well. They've given a lot of time in the passing game and have rushed for nearly 255 yards.
The record that Bo Sparks has tied tonight, as you look at Talik Lockett for the Bobcats, one of those big offensive linemen up front, making his 31st career start tonight. The record that Sparks has tied, that of Cameron Luce, scored 4 touchdowns against Stephen F. Austin all the way back in the Southland days in 2007, as Jalen Jenkins is lassoed for a loss back in the 36 to bring up 2nd and long. So that 4 touchdown record stood for 18 years.
He's back on the field right here on the far side of the field.
Why
Could
not?
we see 5?
Lined up at the top of the screen. Jackson to the air and overshot his target that time. And that was Marvin Anderson, the intended receiver. First time we've seen a target go his way, and it's 3rd and long.
I really believe that there was a linebacker right in the way, and Jackson saw that, and that he just didn't want to zip it in there, so he had to put a little bit of air underneath it. It came up incomplete. We haven't seen many 3rd and 10s from this Bobcat offense.
There's yet to be a 3 and out for Texas State tonight. Jackson on the RPO, going to run it himself. Still on his feet, Jackson to the outside, and skirts it bounds inside the 30. Certainly makes a field goal more doable for Robles. Also, could be a 4th down attempt here.
Yeah, I don't see a field goal team coming out. I think they'll go for it here on 4th down.
Gain of 8 on that play. 4th down manageable here for Jackson to the offense. 4th and 3. And this will mark the first 4th down attempts of the night for Texas State.
Well, they may take this down. The other thing, they could take this down right to the end of the play clock and call timeout.
Talk more about this play coming up. That's exactly what G.J. Kinney elects to do.
So it gives you an opportunity to discuss and see what you want to try to do. If you got a 21-point lead, it's already a 3-possession game, so not trying to run the score up, but on the backside is, you know, a block kick and a return, and all of a sudden it's a different scenario. So I would think that they would try to go for it here.
So the offensive personnel getting a breather. And Jackson there in the middle of the huddle. There's G.J. Kinney, record of 16-10 through his first 2 years at Texas State. And Keith, you were talking earlier about how rich and vast the history is of Texas high school football, and G.J. Kinney himself, a product of Gilmer High, and later a 3-year starter as a quarterback at the University of Tulsa.
Yeah, he understands what's in this state. About 500 young men sign Division I scholarships a year out of this state.
Some of his mentors in coaching have been some great offensive minds like Doug Peterson, Chip Kelly, and Gus Malzahn. That pass caught by Evans on the run. On 4th down, the Bobcats keep the drive moving into the red zone.
Yeah, a little RPO, get the linebackers to pull up and then come back quickly and find a slant out of one of your slot receivers. Pitch and catch, 1st down.
Again, no pass rush there for Eastern Michigan. Jackson, well protected and plenty of time. On 1st half of the 15, it's a run. Burrell to the outside, inside the 5, and into the end zone for the
But a nice quick move to the outside. Great blocking right at the line of scrimmage. And bounces it to the outside, and then it shows you that burst of speed. And Bobcats blow it open here in the fourth quarter.
It has been a dominant second half for Texas State. 24-17 game. At halftime, it felt like the Eagles had the momentum, had that late drive in the second quarter.
And had the football to start the second half.
But the Bobcats defensively got a quick stop. The offense has taken over since then and has pulled away from Eastern Michigan. 45-17. More than 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter after the touchdown run from Greg Burrell. The first-year transfer out of UNLV from Vegas to San Marcos and into the end zone for the first time in his Texas State career. Bobcats on top by 28 here at home. And welcome back to UFCU Stadium, where the Bobcats have pulled away on top 45-17, 21 unanswered points scored by Texas State here in the second half, coming off a 5-play, 35-yard drive set up by a great punt return from Bo Sparks, and then the touchdown run from Greg Burrell, and the game has been blown wide open.
It's just gotten out of reach here in that third quarter, in the early part of this fourth quarter. Bobcats have dominated. Started with the offensive line, no question, and then how about some individual efforts? And that man right there, B. Jackson, he has had a great night as well in his first career start.
And barring a huge comeback from Eastern Michigan, this will mark a third straight season-opening win for G.J. Kinney's program. Won his first game against Baylor 23, beat Lamar a year ago. On top of the Eagles, 45-17 here. The kickoff from James into the end zone for a touchback. You think about some of the great names at Eastern Michigan, and one of the standouts in Eagles history, Max Crosby, of course, has carved out a remarkable career in the NFL with the Las Vegas Raiders. And Crosby, again, had a great playing career, certainly in Ypsilanti. Look back at his career at Eastern Michigan. And Max Crosby, a standout player in the MAC for the Eagles from 2015 to 2018, taken by the Raiders, has since become a four-time Pro Bowl selection and has also given back, donating $1 million back to the Eastern Michigan program, and over the offseason named as an assistant GM of EMU football.
Yeah, he's just an outstanding player and a good human being, and you can see what he's given back to his university. And boy, I guarantee you, quarterbacks in the NFL do not want to see him on the other side lined up.
On first down, Kim lofts that one to a wide open target down the sidelines. Big passing play here for Eastern Michigan. And the ball marked into Bobcat territory. Tanner Lemaster, his first catch tonight. Big pickup on 32 yards.
Good blocking up front. A really well-designed play where you had a crisscross. Bobcat is down here. He had a crisscross route, and two of the Bobcats defenders went with the inside route, wide open on the outside, and Bobcat is down.
Yeah, so look at the Bobcat defender down on the turf. More about Max Crosby and the impact he's had and the recognition he has since received. Well, the Eagles do not have a 92 on their roster this year. That's the number that Crosby wore at Eastern Michigan because there are plans in place to essentially retire that jersey, but then also give it to a special defensive player every year, just as they have the number 2 for the great receivers at Eastern Michigan.
What a great recognition for Max, and again, he's very much involved. I like that last line of that graphic we had. He is an associate GM to the program. I like that. You see a lot of GMs now in college sports with the NIL money that's going on and things that are happening in college athletics.
And the field at Ypsilanti now bears his namesake as well, following his $1 million donation. On first down, a run play for Eastern Michigan. And good for about 7-8 yards there for Tavier Dunlap. As they wind towards 11 and a half to go in the fourth quarter.
Eagles trying to go quickly here.
Eastern Michigan yet to score in the second half. On second and 3, they'll keep it on the ground. Dunlap another carry, short of the first down. Brings up third and short after the tackle from Traylon Payne.
Page with a really nice tackle there. Brent, it's hard to bring Dunlap down one-on-one, and he had a head of steam and got him down short of the line of game. Surely this is 4-down territory for the Eagles here.
Some bigger bodies up front now for Texas State's defense. On third and short, Dunlap. And a pin to the spot of the football. Looks like he got just enough on that last effort after the tackle from Tymer Jackson. And that will move the sticks for Eastern Michigan.
He's a big body, good finish of that run that time. He was hit short of the line to gain and found a way to push forward and get the first down and keep the drive moving here.
Been a fairly even split tonight in the backfield between McMillan and Dunlap in terms of carries. And Dunlap stays in the game here on first and 10. The carry again, and he is met by Payne. Traylon Payne, in his second year with his Bobcat program from Houston, has never missed a game in his 3 seasons of college football. 2 at the U of H, and now his second here at Texas State.
It's hard to stay healthy. It's hard to stay healthy.
It's a skill, isn't it?
It is.
After a gain of 3, 6 play of the drive coming up for Eastern Michigan. The big play, the start of the drive, with the hook got to Tanner Lemaster. And now Eastern Michigan inside the 30 on the RPO play. Eagles get another first down on the far side of the field. It is again Lemaster. And now Eastern Michigan nearing the red zone.
That's a really nice play by Kim that time, recognizing on the RPO, and he sees Lemaster right out in front of him. It was much easier just to pitch it forward to him and let him go forward and get the first down.
This game tonight, 1 of 2 for Eastern Michigan against the Sun Belt this year. They will also take on Louisiana back at Ypsilanti as Kim steps up, fires on the run with a flag coming in. Flag back behind the line of scrimmage following the incomplete pass.
This is going to be a hold.
holding, offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, replay down.
Sixth penalty of the night against Eastern Michigan. And now 1st and 20 from the 30. Not much on the run on first down. Short gain for Dante McMillan. We talked about the era of the transfer portal. We're also in the era of conference realignment. But you look at the MAC, not many schools, if any, defecting from the conference, not many additions either to the MAC. A lot of the schools have been in there for a long time, to include Eastern Michigan. In fact, the Eagles are one of 9 programs that have been to the conference for more than 50 years. Second and 18 for Kim. Going to swing that out to McMillan. Able to slip a tackle down the sidelines and out of bounds inside the 20. And that'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Boy, he is just hard to bring down one-on-one. They have got these 2 running backs. If they get that offensive line settled in, and as the season goes on, I expect them to have some success running and moving the football with the 2 backs they have.
You think about some of the programs with a great tradition in the MAC.
Oh, my Lord, there's been some good ones.
Central Michigan, Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Ohio, Bowling Green, as Kim is hit and drops at the 19-yard line to bring up 4th down.
And you haven't even mentioned the one that I think has been really good in the MAC. Keep going.
Kent State is another one.
State.
Miami
there
of Ohio.
You go. Kent State. There's a guy that was a coach. I can't think of his name. Coached at Alabama. Now he's on television. He played at Kent State.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
Yeah. Buffalo, another good MAC program. I still haven't named it yet, though, have I?
Yeah, Kent State was.
Kent State was the one.
Yeah.
Kent State not on Eastern Michigan's schedule this year. Field goal is up and good for Kessinger. And we will step aside. 6.5 left in the 4th quarter. Bobcats on their way to a season-opening win on top 45-20. Back after this from UFCU Stadium. 45-20, Texas State on top, fourth quarter winding down. 6.5 left here in opening night. We've talked a lot about Eagles head coach Chris Creighton. And you look at active coaches in the country with 195 wins or more, the only four coaches with more: Brian Kelly at LSU, Casey Keeler at Sam Houston, Kirk Ferentz at Iowa, and Willie Fritz at Houston.
That's a pretty impressive list, and 194 victories, 4 away from that coveted 200 career wins. That's a big number.
And with his 12 years at Ypsilanti, he is the 9th longest tenured coach currently in the FBS. And the squib kick is fielded at the 26-yard line by Jake Simpson.
And that's a nice play, smart play. You say, well, why would you go to the ground? Don't want to fumble now. Game's in control. Get your offense on the field, and does a nice job. Say, hey, I've secured it. Go to the ground. Could see some different personnel now on both sides of the ball.
And the Bobcats will bring in a new quarterback. And we'll get our first look at Keldrick Luster, a first-year transfer out of SMU. And he is a big body, 5'10", 225. Really fills out that uniform. Appeared in just 7 games in his 2 seasons with the Mustangs. To the air here, and that's off the hands of his intended target. Looking for L.J. Johnson. Good throw there from Luster. Johnson, though, couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, Johnson had his hands on it. That's a ball that you get both hands on it. You got to get it caught. Wholesale changes in the offensive front now for the Bobcats. Those guys coming off the field right now, those guys had a great night, those starters for Texas State. They were outstanding up front tonight.
It felt like Brad Jackson had a beat on the starting quarterback job at the outset of fall camp, but there was a big battle for the number 2 spot, not going to Luster, as he's the first off the bench in relief of Jackson. Run play for Jenkins is good for 5 to bring up 3rd down.
Now, the one thing about it, you got to get guys playing time, some experience. As you know, in this game, you're only 1 snap away from needing somebody else to play a position.
Several games from the Sun Belt tonight against Power 4 teams. Coming up empty, Southern Miss hosting Mississippi State. Was competitive for a while before the Bulldogs pulled away in the second half. ODU losing at Indiana, Coastal Carolina and Marshall both getting blown out by Virginia and Georgia respectively. It is a keeper for Luster, and that'll move the sticks down to the 40-yard line.
Shows you he can move as well right there.
You reference the starters getting a breather now. Of course, one of those, Lincoln Perry. This night is done. 12 carries, 167 yards for an average of 14 yards a carry, including a 22-yard touchdown. And also with the reserves coming in, that means we will not see a 5th touchdown tonight for Bo Sparks.
Still a record-tying night.
Luster again, and he gets met right at the 40, able to hold on to the football and picks up a couple. Texas State's lone Power 4 opponent, talked about it earlier. It'll take place in 2 weeks when the Bobcats go to Tempe to take on Arizona State. The non-conference schedule this year: Eastern Michigan, UTSA, Arizona State, and Nichols. And Nichols gave Troy a game tonight before the Trojans pulled away in the 4th quarter. After beating a ranked UIW team in the opener last week in Thibodeau. Coming up on 4 minutes to go, Jenkins breaks free. And there he goes, off to the races, Jalen Jenkins for the touchdown.
Just a great seam, great blocking up front. And then Jenkins shows you his acceleration. Just a great block right at the point of attack and takes it to the house.
It has been an absolutely dominating night for the Bobcats on the ground. 21 yards shy of 400 as a unit. That gallop into the end zone good for 58 for Jenkins. Now the Bobcats at opening night have put up 52 over Eastern Michigan.
7 yards short, Grant, of 600 total on the night.
Look back at the run for Jenkins.
Just he found that seam and then he found the accelerator. He did not hit a break. Just explodes to the house.
And you mentioned the total offense, 593 yards on 64 plays. Comes out to 9+ yards per play. And G.J. Kinney told us in fall camp the offense was explosive despite losing all the skill players and offensive linemen they did from a year ago. He felt as if his offense could be even better this year, and they're off to a great start here in 2025.
Well, I think that the point of watching tonight and what I've seen, you got to give a ton of credit to this offensive line. It has been very good all night. Nice holes and then great runs. I mean, there's a lot of guys with a great night tonight. Bo Sparks is right at the top of the list as well.
A 74-yard scoring drive for the Bobcats, and they haven't had many short fields this evening. They put up 52, and only once have they started inside of EMU territory. You look back at the scoring drives and the yards covered by Texas State. 75, 75, 68, 92, 80, 66, 35, and 74.
Wow, that's impressive.
And their average starting field position has been the 27-yard, their own 27. And when you put up 52, you feel as if you're winning.
Had to have some short fields.
Winning the field position battle, but that really hasn't been the case tonight.
Not at all.
In fact, Eastern Michigan's average starting spot has been its own 25. The Bobcats have only been better by 2 yards, yet they've scored 52 points.
29 first downs for the Bobcats tonight. 29.
I think the best word to describe the play of the offense tonight, explosive. Kim gonna loft that one deep, and that's nearly picked. Goes off the hands of Christopher Jones. That close to our first turnover of the game.
Well, Jones played great coverage that time, and he'll have to read about this or watch it when he gets into film study, because he was right there, had every opportunity to make the play and come up with the first turnover of the game. You see the sidelines just explode. Thought they had one, and just dropped out of his hands.
Second and 10, Kim fires complete, short of the sticks. Able to connect that time with Benson Prosper. That'll bring up third and short with under 4 minutes to go. Reference Texas State's non-conference schedule after it finishes with the game against Nicholls State. On September 20th, the Bobcats will get a bye and then start Sun Belt play. First conference game is in Jonesboro this year, Arkansas State. Other road games in conference at Marshall, Louisiana, and Southern Miss. The home games in the Sun Belt against Troy, JMU on a Tuesday night, and the final 2 games of the regular season, perhaps, with a conference championship within reach against ULM and South Alabama.
Right, to look at that month of November, though, two tough places. Got to travel to Hattiesburg and travel to Lafayette. Those are going to be 2 tough road games in the month of November.
And what will go down as a farewell tour for the Bobcats in the Sun Belt Conference. Well, this time next year, you're talking about places like Corvallis and San Diego and Boise, Idaho, and Exciting time, certainly with the announcement of Texas State going to the Pac-12.
Get to see the blue turf.
Yes. Second and 10 as we come up on 2.5 left in the fourth quarter. It's a run up the middle across the 40-yard line. That'll bring up third down here for Eastern Michigan. And yeah, think about the realignment with the Pac-12, and you have to credit Oregon State and Washington State after all the teams left for the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the ACC. Only 2 schools remained. Nobody would have blamed the Beavers or the Cougars for going to another conference themselves. They held firm.
They did.
Believed they could rebuild, and they have. Low snap, and Kim will take it close to a first down. Now that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. Texas State on its way to a season-opening win. On top, 52-20 over Eastern Michigan. We'll wrap up opening night in St. Marcus after this on ESPN+. About to wrap up week 1 here at UFCU Stadium. Looking ahead to week 2, Texas State again on the road against rival UTSA. Game will kick off at 2:30 in the Alamo Dome on ESPN+. Bobcats looking for a second straight win in the I-35 rivalry series. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they'll play the home opener next week at Ypsilanti against the Long Island Sharks. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. A game also available right here on ESPN+. Final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Game well decided as the Eagles pick up a first down to keep the drive going with under 2 minutes to go.
Not in a real big hurry here. Doesn't mean they won't throw the football here, because I think they probably will, but just try to run their plays here in the last 2 minutes.
Expecting a huge crowd and great college football atmosphere next week in San Antonio as Kim lofts that, completes. It's Prosper the catch and hauls it in at the 33-yard line.
Maybe the best pass of the night from Kim. He really did a nice job of laying this ball to the outside. He had to throw it to one spot to get the completion, and he was able to get the pitch and catch in the first down.
Well, UTSA had dominated that series for so long with the Bobcats. Handily took care of UTSA a year ago. Won that game 48-10. And next week we'll look for their first ever win of the series in the Alamo Dome. That run play stacked up with the line of scrimmage.
Roadrunners coming off a loss in College Station tonight.
And they'll be looking to avoid an 0-2 start. And a player down here for Eastern Michigan, Doji Dawe. Been looked at by the training staff with a minute 16 left.
That's the one thing you don't want to have when your game has already been decided here.
Texas State and UTSA played in the same conference in football for 1 year, that 1 year in the WAC, and then the two schools went their separate ways. Texas State in the Sun Belt, UTSA then the Conference USA, but they've made a point to keep the non-conference rivalry going over the years.
Yeah, it's a great rivalry. And kids, both schools, two big schools, as far as population of the schools, and I mean they're not far apart. I mean it's not that far to the Alamo Dome or here to UFCU Stadium.
And so after the injury, Eagles going back to work, looking for one more scoring drive before calling it a night. The tone of this game set early. Bobcats took the opening drive. Got some big plays from Lincoln Perry. Ended the drive with a touchdown to Bo Sparks. Both players wound up having huge games. The Eagles got a field goal drive in the ensuing possession, playing from behind ever since. As Kim swings that, completes. Good for just a yard or two as Matter makes the catch as we come up on the final minute here in the fourth quarter.
Gets out of bounds. Does stop the clock. 4 down territory here, so it is 3rd down though.
Very happy man right there. Athletic Director Don Coryell with the leadership here at Texas State. Think about the job that Don has done along with University President Kelly Damphus and certainly head coach G.J. Kinney as Kim fires complete to the sidelines. And without the leadership of those three, there is no Pac-12.
You're right. Doing an outstanding job to find a way to get into what could eventually become the 5th Power 5 again.
Eagles down the red zone. They have been held to just 3 points in the second half. Kim on first down, back to pass. Off his back foot, completes it. And that'll take the Eagles inside the 10 and just short of the 7-yard line. On the catch there for the Eagles, it's Jamarian Wheeler. And now goal to go for Eastern Michigan. Noah Kim over 240 yards passing tonight, looking for perhaps his second touchdown of the game. Instead, we'll hand it off on first down, and that is a touchdown for Eastern Michigan. Comes with 41 seconds to go. It is Mattered on the run, and the Eagles find pay dirt for the first time in the second half.
Now they're doing a nice job right there at setting up to the outside after throwing a couple of passes, and gets to the outside, makes a nice cut back up the middle and into the end zone. closing in on 1,000 yards of total offense in this football game.
The Eagles 9 yards shy of 400. Bobcats 7 shy of 6. So Keith's higher math is pretty good. Point after is good, ending a 13-play, 75-yard drive to make it 52-27. And this loss will go down as the Eagles' first on opening night since 2020. Let's look back at the touchdown from Mattard.
Well, you want to play to the end, and I like that what they got to. They had a rough third quarter. The difference in this ball game is the third quarter. They got the score right before half, made it a 7-point game. Came out in the second half, went 3 and out in that first possession. Texas State really took advantage of it, separated the ball game in the third quarter. Here in the fourth quarter, they just kept playing and found a way to get some points on the board. But the difference in the game is the third quarter.
And G.J. Kinney about to improve to 3-0 in openers, pick up his 17th win as Bobcat head coach. It'll go down to his 29th win overall, a career record of 28-12, going back to his 1 year at Incarnate Word.
Don't think you'll see onside kick, but may not see one kick deep either. So they squib kicked it the last time, kicking in this direction.
It is a deep kick into the end zone for a touchback. Talked about DJ Kinney's time at Incarnate Word, and I thought something very admirable on his part was he accepted the job at Texas State while UIW was still playing in the postseason, and he didn't just bolt the Cardinals or leave San Antonio. He stayed with that Cardinal program until their playoff run ended in the national semifinals against North Dakota State.
Yeah, he made a commitment to those young men, and he said, I'm going to stay with them until this is over, and we're doing everything they can do trying to win that national title. Came up a little short.
UIW's program has since been playing very well. Coach Kinney helping build a foundation in San Antonio. Clayton Killow now the head coach for the Cardinals out of the Southland. As Luster hands to Jenkins, a jump cut to the outside. Across the 30-yard line with 35 seconds left. Jenkins had that 58-yard touchdown run earlier in the quarter. Might get another carry or two before the game ends here. He'll take it again on second down, and Jenkins for a first down pickup across the 35.
They don't have to snap it again at this point.
Game clock inside of 20 seconds to go. No sense of urgency here for the Bobcats, and that looks like that'll be the final play of the game. An offensive explosion for the Bobcats. 52 points, over 600 yards of offense, and out to a 1-0 start for the third straight year under G.J. Kinney.
Well, it's just a good performance, an outstanding performance from two young men. Actually, three. I thought Brad Jackson, you see right there, I thought he was outstanding tonight. Obviously, Bo Sparks was outstanding. Lincoln Pear just picks up where he left off in the bowl game.
The Bobcats pick up the win. Great balance between the ground game and the passing game offensively. The defense holding the Eagles at his 10 second-half points, as Texas State holds on to beat Eastern Michigan at 52-27 to wrap up opening night. And G.J. Kinney picks up his 17th win as Texas State head coach. And if you're the Bobcats, Keith, a great way to start the new season.
Well, it was a good way to start the new season. Came out, I thought the third quarter was the difference in the game. They came out, made good adjustments at halftime. They got 2 3-and-outs defensively, and then this really started exploding offensively. We talked about in fall camp being explosive. Did GJ Kimmy, they were explosive in that third quarter.
But now if you're Texas State, 2 big games to get ready for all the road the next 2 weeks. At UTSA next Saturday in San Antonio. The week after, you go to Tempe to take on Arizona State.
Well, I think, first of all, it's a rivalry game next week. It means a lot going down there. Then they get an opportunity to go play in a Power 4 conference and go play a team that they had on the ropes here last year. Let it get away.
And if you're Eastern Michigan, a chance to bounce back next week at home against an FCS opponent, Long Island.
And I expect them to do that. I thought they really continued to play in the fourth quarter and played maybe their best football in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight of opening night here at UFCU Stadium. So for Keith Moreland, I'm Brant Freeman saying so long from San Marcos. The final score, Texas State 52, Eastern Michigan 27. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. From UFCU Stadium, good night.